Last time on Square Roots, we find an injured lady in the woods and do what comes naturally, shoot her with some special bullets. We also meet a mysterious floppy-haired boy, climb a big tree, and spike the hell out of our new friend Riki. That's gotta be a red card.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I'm joined by Matthew Van Zant.
Heyo.
John, Ricky, Brandon.
Oh, Ricky, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind. Hey, Ricky. Hey, Ricky.
And Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa.
And this is a podcast where we play and talk about your favorite classic RPGs one chunker at a time. And we are on part 4 of Xeno... Are we calling it Xeno Babies? That's what you guys been calling it in the group chat.
Matthew said it so much that I say it now. So,
I know, I noticed.
Yeah, I can't.
Xeno Babes is also a good, Xeno Babes.
Is that
Xeno
like
boobs.
solar babies?
They're all babes in this game. The
Yeah,
boys,
they're all
the girls.
himbos and bimbos.
Himbos and bimbos with very little clothing on.
Mm-hmm. Vanessa has shown me, I think that if you dress Ricky in his special swimsuit, he's just naked, right?
Uh-huh. That's what I did to him.
Cool.
I gave him a hat that gave him cute little, tiger earmuffs for his weird ear hands.
Yeah.
What's with the weird ear hands? This is not a
love
Ricky thing. This is something that I feel like I've seen a million times.
Klonoa.
Yeah, Klonoa.
Yeah, Klonoa. I had Klonoa once, and I had to take these big pills.
Gross.
Let's see. I feel like this was an eventful week for hot video game.
What do we do on
news.
this show? Has Vanessa been introduced?
I said it. Yeah, I did all
Yeah,
that.
no one
Did
introduced
Vanessa
me.
do her last time on yet?
No one introduced me. I didn't do
Have
it
we
last
clapped?
time, and nobody said what we do on this show.
Okay.
And we didn't clap.
Have we
I
leveled
won't
up yet?
speak until I'm introduced.
Well,
All
let's
right.
talk
I did
about what we're
introduce
squarely against and wrap this
And
puppy
also,
up, shall we?
Here is Vanessa.
Hello.
He did
Wow.
introduce Vanessa, for sure.
What a punchline to that bit.
Oh, sorry. Do it again, Johnny.
And here is Vanessa.
I'm very pleased to meet you.
It's even worse.
We've met before.
No, I don't agree. 10 out of 10, great joke.
Vanessa's doing the thing where it's like a power play. If you meet someone who you've
Yeah.
met before, you pretend
Yeah.
you don't know them.
What's that from?
Oh, love doing that.
I mean, it's a thing. But there is a
I used
30
to do
Rock
that
episode
too.
with it.
I used to do that to my daughter all the time. Like whenever she would come to me and ask me to do something for her when she was like 4 or 5, I'd be like, "Why are you in my house? Who are you?"
That's not nice.
This is called gaslighting.
All right, who's got this week's hot video game news?
Oh.
I've got a
There
little
is
bit.
no hot
Oh,
video game
there's-
news this
Oh,
week.
there's
There's
some.
so
There's
much.
plenty. What are you talking about, Matthew?
Yeah.
I've even got
Nothing
some.
happened.
I haven't opened up my browser yet, and I have some.
Yeah, I've got some too, and I haven't even looked.
All right, Jim, you're raring to go. You're champing
Yeah.
at the bit.
Chomping at the bit.
No, he's champing at the bit. Look at him
Chomping.
champ. Look at him champ.
I'm
Oh,
chimping.
look at the little champ go.
Chimping at the bit. Showing my ass to the bit is what that means.
There's a new Tomb Raider game coming.
Ooh.
And
Yes.
it's not going to be published by Square Enix. It's going to be published by
No.
Amazon.
What?
Is it
What?
so
Yeah.
they got bought up by that Embracer. That got picked up by the Embracer group, right?
Crystal Dynamics maybe did. Is that
Yes.
how that works?
Who's making the game?
Crystal Dynamics, right?
They're still making the game?
I don't know.
It would
Yes.
seem really strange. They didn't just
Okay,
buy the IP.
yeah.
They bought up the...
They bought
Shop,
yeah,
right?
Eidos.
Yeah, they bought the development. Oh, is it Crystal Dynamics or Eidos?
I think
Crystal Dynamics is making it, and Amazon
Okay.
Games is publishing it.
okay.
Yeah.
So it's still the same team. Is it still going to be like that plot line?
Yeah, it's still in that like new Lara Croft timeline.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Zero interest.
What? We like those games. What are you
those
talking
games,
about?
Those games rock.
They rule.
I think they're Square Roots eligible. Honestly, they're
Rock and
pretty
rule.
fun little action RPGs.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea for next year. 2023,
I
it's up to
played
me, and I love Tomb Raider.
the first one, and I thought it was good, but too bloody.
It was.
Like, what was that about? And then the second one just didn't hook me, and I didn't try the third.
The
third one's really good.
Get into third one's great. Yeah, it's a lot of cool side quests on that one.
If it doesn't have robot dinosaurs, I'm not interested.
Oh, you're still Horizon kid.
Not
Kid
anymore.
Horizon.
Finished Horizon.
You know, the holidays are fast approaching, and I really want that Lego tall neck set, but I don't know
saw
where to
that.
put it if I build it. But, you know, if anyone wants to get me a last-minute present, listeners, Jim can give you the P.O. box.
Which
Do you
is
think
Jim's
you could
address.
put it out?
No, I have I use a package delivery service because I live in an apartment building, and so I can schedule my deliveries. So we use that for our collective address.
Yeah, someone asked for it today, and I put it in, like, the chat, like the Square Roots chat, and people are like, are you doxing Jim? Like, because
Yeah.
it just says Jim Banks,
Nope,
and it
that's
looks
just an
a little
address
bit
to
like
a
an address.
big old warehouse.
Yep. AKA your house.
It's pretty neat because I get stuff delivered to that address, and they send me a notification in a little app, and I can say deliver it at 3:00 today, and they'll deliver it
Oh,
at 3:00.
that's nice. I like
Yeah.
that.
That way I can make sure I'm home.
Yeah.
What other hot gaming news is there in the world?
I've got
Oh,
one.
so much. Oh, go ahead, Johnny.
So we were recording last time during the Game Awards.
True.
And
Never heard of it.
Elden Ring won Game of the Year, which is not super surprising.
No.
And it seems
Not
like
Well deserved, though, I think.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, even I just wasn't good enough at that game. That was my problem. However,
You should have paid $30 for some more points.
there
to level
was
your character up.
That's right.
there-
You could buy
there
levels.
was a child
What a piece of
behind
shit.
the team. At the team that made Elden Ring, and they were talking that the whole time this child was on stage. I mean, he looked like 13, 14, 15. And
Yeah.
as soon as the team said their thanks, he walked up and said, and I quote, "Bill Clinton is a reformed Orthodox rabbi. Thank you very much," and then left. And people are like, is this some kind of weird anti-Semitic dog whistle? And then Jeff Keighley, who runs the event, is like, tweeted that he had been arrested, that the child had been arrested. But Jason Schreier, who is a Jewish game reporter, and the Jewish part is important, he interviewed him and said, well, he speaks Hebrew, so I'm pretty sure he's Jewish. And he was just
Oh,
being
interesting.
a prankster. He wasn't trying
Wasn't
to make...
he? Somebody said he's been on InfoWars before. Is that true?
Maybe.
I read that on Twitter.
We should probably not discuss Twitter rumors.
Yeah, not right now. Not
This
while
is
we're
not the
recording
forum.
on
Ban me,
Thursday,
Ayla.
December
But-
15th, 2022.
But Jason's like, he just seems like a kid who was doing a prank. And I wonder if the InfoWars thing, if he was on it, was also a prank.
But how the fuck did
Maybe.
he get on stage?
There's no security.
Come on. But they were turning away people at the door.
Well, he might have been-
Like Alana Pierce, who's like one of the biggest probably gaming influencers and a game developer who worked on God of War Ragnarok, got turned away at the door.
Did she have a
Weird.
ticket?
I don't know.
You can't just go
This is
somewhere
like a
with no
pertinent
ticket.
question.
Yeah.
Seems like an important
did that
question.
kid have a ticket?
I mean, presumably,
Did he have a ticket to get on stage?
rich ass
Also,
parents is the
Crisis
ticket.
Core's coming out this week, I think, right?
It already did come out. It came out yesterday.
What?
Yeah, we already all played it and beat the whole thing, and now we know the
Oh,
whole
man.
story of Zack and Sephiroth and how they were
Riki.
lovers before Final Fantasy VII started.
That's a good game, and I heard the battle system is really good. But I heard they reused all the cutscenes from the original game, so that's kind of a downer.
Is it going to
They
look...
didn't update any of the cutscenes.
Well, I thought, didn't they update
Yes,
the
I heard
models
that
at
too.
least? Or is
What's
it...
that?
No, I think it's up-resed or whatever for HD, but it is the original cutscenes.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
the original cutscenes, and they updated the battle system a little bit.
Yep.
That game is fun though, and I think Zack's story is very interesting. Except for the Genesis stuff, I kind of lose interest in that. But that's a good game.
Great.
Here's some hot gaming news from me, Vanessa.
Oh, okay.
It's time for movie time. Watch your favorite video games on the screen time. And what is coming is God of War to the small screen and Death Stranding to the big screen.
Yeah,
Ooh.
wow.
I didn't hear about a Death Stranding film.
They
They just released that a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
Is Norman Reedus going to star in it? He would have to, right?
I don't know. He's already tied to like 2 other TV shows right now, so
I mean, The
it'll
Walking
be
Dead
interesting
just
to see
ended.
if he does star in that. Well, no, he's in like a Walking Dead spinoff that takes place in Paris, and he's in some other.
What?
He's tied to some other TV show.
It won't be
How
about.
did they get to Paris?
How
What
the
the heck?
fuck did he get to Paris?
I don't know. I'm just telling you what I read.
It
That
won't
just
be
sucked.
about Sam Porter Bridges, but that doesn't mean that Sam Porter Bridges
Maybe he'll
or
cameo in it. Yeah.
Leia Seydoux couldn't show up.
You know what? I know it's kind of maybe the track record isn't great, but I like that they're taking these I don't know what you'd call them, but these kind of these really popular action adventure games and that have really good narratives and making TV shows out of it. I think it just fits the medium very well.
I know I was in the minority, but I really fucking liked that Halo show. I thought it was just fucking fine.
I need to watch. That's like
I mean,
on my
if
list to
you're
watch,
if
yeah.
you're real worried about the lore and like the story of the Halo games, probably
okay.
don't. Like that's because they're not following that. But I don't give a shit about that stuff. And I thought they made a pretty good show. It wasn't the best thing I've ever seen, but it was a fun action show.
And they showed
Yeah.
the suit jacking him off, right?
Yeah, and it did talk about how the suit jacks him off.
Yeah. And I know that's Jim's
He definitely-
favorite piece of Halo
That is my
lore.
favorite part. Yeah.
He definitely gets laid, and I remember there being a big uproar about Master Chief having sex. Who could care what nerds think? I don't know what to say.
But no,
You need
I
a better
think
word,
I'm like
actually. Nerd's not good.
We are nerds.
I'm really excited for the Last of Us TV show, and I think the God of War TV show could be really like. There's such good character work in those games, especially Ragnarok.
I'm a little miffed,
Could be
actually, about the God of War show because the showrunner is Rafe Judkins, who's the showrunner for Wheel of Time. So what the fuck's happening with Matt's favorite show, Wheel
we
of Time?
love time.
Yeah, we love time, and the new season its first season came out in 2021, and the second season isn't out yet. So what's the fucking deal, Amazon? Quit fucking around.
I don't
with We
know.
Love Time.
Every
Yeah, good
channel is
question.
like canceling all their shows and then taking them off the air so that they don't have to pay
Yeah.
royalties.
mainly
HBO's
HBO
doing
Max.
that. Who else is
yeah,
doing that?
HBO.
I don't know. I just assume it's all of them.
I think it's mainly HBO.
I've only seen it from HBO, but
I mean, well,
yeah,
I
Westworld.
haven't
I
talked
guess
about
I'll
it.
never catch up on Westworld. Thanks, HBO.
You can't.
Like, I'm sorry I didn't
Yeah.
watch the third season, but I was like, I was
nuts.
going to get around to it. Then you canceled the show, and I probably wasn't. But then you took it all offline. So
Yeah.
Death Stranding is on my list of games to play like over
Yeah, me too.
the holiday break.
Oh, yeah.
So I have it downloaded, and I'm really excited to play it. So the fact
Well,
that making a
I'm
show
gonna
just
play-
makes me kind of want to do it even more.
Danganronpa first.
Yeah, I need to play Danganronpa
that
too.
reminds me, gang. It's the 15th.
I know.
Usually
Is
we
anybody-
record our bonus episodes the day before release.
and
I'm
also,
not worried about that, but I am a little worried about nobody actually playing the game.
well,
I'll
Matt,
play it.
I've stopped work in 5 days, so I'll have time to actually play it.
You've played a bunch before, so I'm less worried about
Yeah.
you. I'm more worried about Vanessa. I'm less worried about Jim because Jim will do what Jim does. I want Vanessa to play it.
I'll play the heck out of it. I mean,
You
I'll
won't
play
play
like a few
anything.
hours of it.
What were we talking about?
25-hour game.
Dang it, Grandpa, your favorite game.
Dang it, Grandpa. Yeah, sure.
Dang old grandpa.
Here's
I
my
don't like-
opinion
It's not fun.
on Death Stranding movie. I think I don't have to watch them, and there is plenty of other stuff coming out, but it does seem like everything is like a tie-in or a reboot, and I just want something new, and I just want more
I
comedies.
agree with that, John.
All
I agree
these
with
like
that as well.
super expensive reboots are like grisly and harrowing.
good.
I just want something fun
Death
and light
Stranding
and
is a
new.
new IP, though. I mean, it'd be interesting to see a new IP adapted, right?
I mean, it's a video game. I'm just not super. I'm not gonna watch it. I'd rather play. the game.
You don't like cross-format adaptations. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I like some.
But you just want to see more originals.
Yeah. I
That's
just
how I
want to see
feel about
different stuff.
movies. That's how I feel about movies. I want more original movies, less franchise stuff.
Yeah.
More Marvel, more DC, but not
More-
with Henry Cavill.
More Scream. There's a
you couldn't pay
Scream.
me to keep caring about Scream.
Scream 6 teaser. The last Scream movie was really freaking good, though.
Yeah, it was
pretty
really
good.
mediocre.
Oh, I liked it a lot. I saw it 3 times in the theaters.
That's ridiculous.
There's I have Kotaku open, and there's an auto-playing video of a Kotaku guy, and he looks like Bam Bam Bigelow with long hair.
Oh.
I have a small piece of hot gaming news for nobody
share
because
it.
nobody but me is interested.
Okay.
The
might be.
new PUBG map came out today. Wow, wow, wow.
Vikendi! Happy Vikendi Day, everyone!
They turned Vikendi into an 8x8 map and they redid it. I haven't got to play it yet, but I'm excited for a
Oh,
new map. Well,
I
it's not really a
assumed
new
that
map.
you had been playing it all night, every night. All
Nope.
night today.
Well, it just came out this morning, and I
Yeah.
have not had the chance to play PUBG yet. I'm excited
please.
about it, though. It'd be fun to... I like Vikendi. I always liked Vikendi. This one, they got snowmobiles back in, which I love the snowmobiles. There's a new fun, like, air trolley thing. What's it called? Air tram, like on a wire, you know? That goes around the map, and you can, like, shoot people from it. And
Is the
they all have
train still
panzers on
around?
them. The train is still there. I think it's... I don't think it covers as much of the map as it used to.
Okay.
Interesting.
But the train is still there, and they've... Anyway, that's it. Vikendi, excited. PUBG continues to be a game that's out that I play. It's interesting.
I
I
like
think
watching.
that's because of your little
Paul's
friends,
streams.
though. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I would not play that game at all if I
coworker.
did not have a friend that was still super obsessed with it and wanted to play it all the time. I mean, like, I still like to play it sometimes, but I would have burned out and quit playing long, long ago.
All right. Well, can we go to level up segment?
Sure.
Yes, please.
I'll go first.
What's Bardulske over?
Oh, I'm glad that you asked. Well, as everyone knows, the host of Kongen Beffler has been humiliated in public because of his terrible actions and is out as host. So
Is that a taskmaster?
yeah, this is of course the Norwegian
Okay,
taskmaster.
this is not
and
hot
he's
gaming
being
news.
replaced
Hot game
by-
show news is not what this section is about. How did you
Vanessa,
level up?
that counts as your level up.
Yeah,
Jim-
it does.
No, Matt literally asked.
It's true. He did.
Yeah,
He's
because I
the
thought
one
it was
who
about
brought it
hot, I
up.
thought it was hot gaming news, not hot game show news. How did you level up?
Oh, thanks for asking.
Oh, shit.
I've been watching some TV shows. I watched a show called Midnight Club on Netflix, and I watched a show called Dragon Age Absolution on Netflix.
Did you like either one of them?
Yes. Caveat, asterisk. Midnight Club I thought was okay. It was like a little bit more sophisticated version of Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah.
It kind of ended on a cliffhanger and unfortunately has not been renewed. But you can go online and read all about season 2 because the creator put out there what was going to happen.
My favorite part of the new one is Heather Langenkamp
Yay!
has a prominent role in that show, and I think she's great in it.
I think so too. I thought pretty much all of the actors were really good. It's about kids with terminal diseases who live together in a hospice and tell each other scary stories. And then there's sort of a daytime plot, aside from telling the scary stories, about weird goings-on at the house.
I love the side plot about the one kid who just really wants a PlayStation before he dies.
Yeah.
That's so good, and it has such a great payoff when he gets his PlayStation. Loved it.
It's fantastic. Yeah, it's set in like the early 90s, I think.
Yeah, like
And-
mid-90s, I think.
Yep. If you like horror compilation shows, then you may well like it. And Jim, forgive me, what's the name of the guy who created it? He does all of the other things.
Mike
Flanagan? Is it Flanagan?
Flanagan, yes. Mike Flanagan.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's kind of like
got
a
a-
Mike Flanagan Jr. show.
Yeah,
not for
it's got
kids,
some
kids,
of the it's got some of the actors from Midnight Mass in it. Mm-hmm. The main character from Midnight Mass is like an orderly slash nurse in the hospice.
Raul Cooley?
No, not Raul Coley. Zach something, who was in Friday Night Lights, a Friday Night Lights guy, who
Snyder.
played. No.
Efron.
No.
Zach Attack from
I don't know.
Saved by the Bell.
Hold on. Was that his
Morris?
character's name? Zach?
Yeah, his character's name was Zack Attack.
Zach Guilford.
Zach Fair from Final Fantasy Crisis Core.
Zach Guilford.
Is his last name
He's
Fair?
in it. Yeah, Zach Fair is the guy from Final Fantasy.
And that lady who played the very religious woman in Midnight Mass.
Oh yeah, she's the
Samantha
hippie lady in the
Sloan.
woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a great actress. I really
Oh
enjoy
man,
her.
she's so scary in Midnight Mass.
I
like,
know.
For like a non-horror, she's just a religious sociopath. Oh, it gives me chills.
Yeah. So I liked that all right. But if you do give it a try, be aware that it's not going to end in a satisfying way. And then I watched Dragon Age Absolution, which is the Netflix Dragon Age cartoon that kind of
And you loved
bridges
it.
the gap. I did not. I thought it was kind of exactly what you would think it would be. You know, it's one of those cartoons that Netflix does that's like an action cartoon, and you basically know what you're getting, and that's what you get.
And there's
It
gay
was
smooching.
fine.
Someone smooches a dwarf, right? A gay
Someone
dwarf.
smooches a dwarf. There's gay smooching. There's
I watched the first
elf
5 minutes, I
dwarf.
think. Maybe I watched the first episode. Maybe not even the whole episode. And that dwarf definitely, the first thing he says, he looks at the camera and he goes, I want to smooch some boys.
Yeah,
oh,
he does.
Wow. Okay, so that's my kind of show then.
Yeah,
you
you
know
might
what?
be really into it.
Some of those things are really good, but I'm glad that Vanessa watched it so that I don't have
You
to,
guys
because this
know
one doesn't
how-
look very good to me.
You guys know how Netflix puts like the little descriptors under all their titles? It's like heartfelt or drama.
Oh, yeah.
Or action. Is there gay smooching under the new Dragon
Yeah,
Age?
yep.
There might be.
Gooches is what we call them.
Yeah.
Gooching.
It does sort of set up what will probably be the primary or secondary antagonist of Dragon Age Dread Wolf, the next Dragon Age game, but not in like a substantial way. They're just kind of mentioned in the series, and then when the series is over, you get one cutscene, basically, of like, and now here's this. Dun, dun, dun.
And I guess
I'd say-
Alistair can't show up because depending on how you played, he's in different places. He's either like super happy king or drunk.
Yes, correct. It didn't have any of the characters who you would know and love from previous games.
Oh,
It is set in Tevinter, which is interesting because
Yep.
I've always been quite interested in Tevinter. So it's fun to see some of their society. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's anything. If you're not a Dragon Age fan, I don't think you're going to get anything out of it. If you are a Dragon Age fan, it will probably just make you wish you were playing Dragon Age. But it's all right. That's how I leveled up, and I can't think of anything else that I did. So I'll pass it on to drumroll Matt.
Hey, I finished a great game that you all want to hear about. No, it's not
Horizon.
Horizon Forbidden West. It's
Forbidden
Dungeons
West?
and Dragons Curse of Strahd.
Oh, you're done. Congratulations.
Yay!
I finished my Curse of Strahd campaign. We killed Strahd. And then we staked him through the heart, and he vanished. And we destroyed his little tomb first, so he couldn't escape on us. And we killed him, and it was satisfying. It was a great great campaign. It was hosted, it was DM'd by fan favorite Dr. Steven Stone. That's Stan. And some of his improv buddies, and we had a great time. It took us about 6 months. And there's too much to really relate, but we certainly got to do a lot of fun stuff and a lot of silly stuff. We spent half a day, half a session getting drunk in a bar and being silly with each other, that type of stuff. It was a good time. And I don't feel like we really even scratched the surface because these campaigns are so big. But we got what we wanted out of it, which was to kill Strahd. He's a bad guy. He's like Dracula.
He's a Dracula.
Y'all know about Dracula.
Yeah.
Curse of Strahd is basically Dracula. It's set in Barovia, which is Transylvania, and the bad guy is Strahd von Richten or Strahd something, and he's basically Dracula. And you have to go around this land of monsters and downtrodden people, and do a save, do a campaign, do an adventure,
Do a save.
and we had a great time, and we got to do a lot of fun stuff. That's me. I used a great wish scroll to blow up half a field of bad guys, which was a lot of fun. And we thought we were going to lose that last fight. It was really hard. But then we got our butts saved by a bunch of flocks of ravens, and Strahd got killed. And that was kind of it. The end. We all survived, barely.
Oh, happy ending.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And even though my character did turn evil halfway through the campaign, I kind of failed to do anything fun with that, unfortunately. So, yeah, I don't know. Dungeons and Dragons, ladies and gentlemen. It's the first time I've ever played a full campaign, and it was really satisfying and fun. I had a good time. I found that it can be pretty boring at times when you're just kind of sitting around waiting for stuff to happen. Particularly the combat, I found it's slow. And there's a lot of reading, and y'all know how I feel about that.
Horny.
Makes your hand tired and
But overall,
you're raw.
I think the game's really satisfying and fun, and I'm glad that I finally got to do a full campaign. And we're going to try to start up a new campaign in a few months. We're talking about doing Tomb of Annihilation.
Would you say that as players you're disciplined about turn taking and making sure that everybody has the opportunity to do an action?
Well, when you get into combat, everybody has to roll an initiative, so there's a turn order, so it's very easy to keep up with. But out of combat, it's really just kind of a free-for-all of who does what.
It makes me feel a little irritated because I feel like certain people tend to dominate sessions, and be like, first my player does this, and then I talk to the man in the corner, and then I do this and this and this. And
no,
it's like
we didn't have a lot of
nothing
that
left for anyone to do.
We didn't have any of that. It was more of us. None of us were particularly familiar, or at least two of us were basically brand new to playing Dungeons and Dragons, so we didn't exactly know what to do a lot of the time. But Stan was a good DM, and he didn't let us do stuff like that. It was very much like, you do this, and then this is going to happen. It wasn't, like, oh yeah, give me your 15 things you're going to do, and I'll roll some dice.
Well, I was thinking that perhaps people who had trained in improv would be better at the give and take of it.
Anyway, Dungeons and Dragons, it's pretty fun. Certainly Roll20, where it keeps track of a lot of stuff for you and makes leveling up super easy, and Zoom made it much more tolerable for somebody like me, who never wants to have to go anywhere. Certainly not for several hours at a time.
Well, they all live in LA too, so that would be a far way to go.
One lived in Wisconsin, one lived in, I don't remember where Michael lives, because he's moving to LA, so that's kind of all I talked about.
What a shock. Oh, my video's frozen again. Why does my video freeze every single time?
Fries.
Fries.
I had another thing I wanted to talk about in my level up. I played a great new game. Do y'all want to know what it's called?
Yeah.
Trepidatiously, yes.
High on Life!
Oh, that's the game that everyone says is unfunny.
Yeah, it's not funny at all, and I hate it.
Oh.
No, that's not true. I think it's pretty funny. It's not a riot, but it's an engaging and fun shooter platformer. I know that Jim and John are playing it and probably want to talk about it too.
Wow. Way to blow my spot.
Way to cuck me.
Yeah. Sorry, we should talk like the guns while Matthew talks. Jim, let's talk like the guns while Matthew talks about the game.
No, that's the worst part.
Well, fuck. Let's kill him. Fuck. Let's shoot. Fuck. I'm gonna kill that
you,
fucker.
you fucking shithead.
High on Life is a new first-person shooter that is available on Xbox Game Pass.
What?
As well as...
Holy fucking shit! It's on fucking Game Pass! You better fucking shoot him!
Boy, I don't think the game's that annoying.
Really?
Yes.
Better kill your divorced wife's boyfriends!
That intro made me laugh really hard. It is a new game from developer Squanch Games, and
I like
don't
that
know how
word.
that's tied to the Rick and Morty people, but I think it is. Squanch is something from Rick and Morty, so I'm assuming it's that they all have a piece of it or something. But Justin Roiland, who plays Morty, is the kind of main voice in the game. JB Smoove is also a recognizable voice actor.
Tim Robinson?
Tim Robinson is one of the guns. I haven't gotten that far yet. And the game,
Vanessa,
I like the
shake
premise a
your
lot.
head.
I like the premise a lot, which is that aliens land on Earth and they're going to kill everybody and turn them into drugs for other aliens.
Because humans make really good weed, basically. Or
Basically.
it can be turned into space weed. Liquefacted.
No, they don't even liquefy them. They just stick them in bongs and smoke them.
And you are some loser video game player that lives with his parents, and you find a talking gun, played by Justin Roiland, and the gun helps you become a bounty hunter and hunt down all of the heads of the conglomerate of of the gang that is running this operation on Earth, and kill them off one at a time. And presumably save Earth. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far. Maybe.
Starting
and
in
so you get different
Borderlands
guns.
2, you get a couple of talking guns that are very similar to the premise of this.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like it writes itself. It's a gun. What's it going to talk about? I think it's a fun idea, and it makes for gameplay wise. The game is very much like a kind of action platformy shooter, throwbacky kind of game. Doesn't seem particularly deep. But there's lots of jumping around and sliding around the screen and shooting bad guys.
I think the best part about it is the platforming. It really opens up and gives you a lot of really cool platforming options a little bit later in the game.
I can tell
and
that it's gonna do that.
Really cool.
There's a lot of little treasure chests I can't get to, and it really it makes me not want to explore the areas because it's like, am I even gonna be able to get to this one?
Yeah, I felt the same way.
But I think it is fun to play, and I think that the story and the comedy aspect is pretty good. Like it's not fucking butt gusting funny, but certainly it makes me giggle sometimes.
Butt gusting?
Yeah, no butt
gustingly.
gusting.
No
Butt gusting or gut busting?
No, Matthew's more
Did I
of
say
a butt guster.
gusting? Oh, butt gusting Van
Butt
Zandt.
gusting.
It's not gut busting or anything. Like it's funny, but it's not killing. But it's fun. I've been enjoying it for the past couple of days. And that's what I've played. John or Jim, would you like to add on?
Yeah. So I follow a lot of smart, interesting, cool people on Twitter, and they're all like, wow, this game isn't funny. Only the stupidest people in the world would find this game funny. Only the lowest of dum-dums would really enjoy the humor of this game.
I mean, that's what Jim was saying to us yesterday, and today he admitted that he's almost finished the game.
I started playing it, and the first time I laughed at something, I was like, oh no, I'm laughing at this game. And especially, I think my favorite part is Pseudo. I hope he comes back. I think his name was Pseudo. The AI clippy thing that helps
he does.
you.
Yeah, there's a lot of good pseudo stuff later.
I loved when so he's leaving. He's like, but don't worry. Well, first of all, I think the game assumes that you don't want him to come back. But I was like, no, I love him. I want him to come back.
Yeah.
But then there's only options to make him come back. But then, like, when he's leaving, he goes to the drops to the bottom of the screen, and then as you're playing, he like looks up again and looks around and then comes back. I don't know. I like that kind of stuff.
There was a moment where he yelled at me for interrupting while he was masturbating, and he was like, "Yeah, we masturbate. Just because I'm a AI simulation in your suit doesn't mean like it was very silly. It made me laugh."
So is Rick and Morty like this? I remember watching the first episode. And I didn't think it was funny, but
there's definitely a lot of similarities. This definitely feels like it could fit in to like a Rick and Morty in some way. It does a lot of the things that Rick and Morty does that I like give things very silly names. Scorpy Borchin, you know? Floopy Boobers. Like,
yeah, the drugs,
those
like
silly
names.
names.
Furdos, and
There's a group of guys later in the game that are called the Mac and Cheese Brothers.
Yeah, I ran into that. Mac and Cheese bros.
Matt, you know that my mother's name is Snoopy Borden. I can't believe you made fun of her like that.
Yeah, I just doxed her on the podcast.
Yeah.
It does. I like that very silly, and like the aliens are all like it's a very cel-shaded, cartoony looking game, right? So everything looks like
it looks
these people could
amazing.
fit
Like
into
the
Rick and
graphics
Morty.
are.
It does look great, yeah.
I'm playing on
looks great.
PC. I don't know how it looks on consoles, but
It
it
looks fantastic
Like
on
the
consoles,
shading
yeah.
on the characters, like it's cartoony, but it looks like they're made out of real material, and the lighting and everything's really good. I don't know, it's a pretty game, and there's enough stuff that I find. Obviously, if you don't like Borderlands, I would say if you don't like Borderlands' humor at all, you won't like this game at all. And I mean, I don't know about Rick and Morty, but I like Community. That doesn't have.
I
any
think
of the
you
Community
would like
people.
Rick and Morty. I think I've said this to you before. I think you would like Rick and Morty. I think the first season's a little rough, but I think it is a lot like Community. I think that Rick is basically Jeff Winger if he was Mr. Fantastic instead of a lawyer, you know? Like, he's not a very good person, and that's kind of the point of the show. But, like, people around him make him better, and so it's got some heart behind it. Like, I think Rick and Morty's a good show.
But I think
Do you think I would like Rick and Morty?
Probably not.
It's like I've watched a couple episodes of it, and granted that's not a big sample, but it's one of those shows that feels a little too cynical for me to enjoy.
It is, and it's very like edgelordy sometimes,
Yeah.
but it makes fun of itself when it's edgelordy. So it's not like I never really feel like the show is like preaching at me or anything like that. But it does. It likes to dip into that, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean that kind of annoyed me, and I know they've patched it. I think maybe the patch came out today, but the first couple hours for me were really annoying because like nothing in the game shut the fuck up and let me play the game. Like the guns were talking constantly, and all the characters were yelling at me all the time.
It just flashed right before I quit the game last night that you can shut the guns up, and I was like,
You can shut the guns up. I did that when I only had the Justin Roiland gun, but when I got my arsenal expanded a little bit, I turned it back on. And when I got the Tim Robinson gun character is so much different than the other ones. It's because his character is like he's a gun that basically kind of has amnesia and doesn't really know anything about his life or anything, and it's so fucking funny. Like his lines are so good.
I'm not going to turn the guns off. Like I'm genuinely enjoying Knifey and Kenny so far. And
yeah, I think the JB Smoove one is good. I think
he's
the
great.
third one you get, it's kind of like a Needler from Halo, is doesn't really have much of a personality, I don't think, but the Tim Robinson one is good. And I like all the side characters like Gene, the alien that like gives you your bounty hunter suit and just sits on your couch all the time watching Tammy and the T-Rex and jacking off.
I think the show has
really
a very bad first 10 minutes. Like the Blake Stone parody, or like early Wolfenstein style shooter.
Yeah.
Oh, so I disagree. I thought the first 10 minutes where you're playing like a fucking MS-DOS shooter was pretty fucking entertaining.
These are your wife's boyfriends.
I didn't get it.
Boyfriends.
It was but it's making fun of that era of games where everything was so fucking misogynistic. So this
Is that
game
what it
is
was
that you're
doing?
pretend-
I wasn't
Yes.
sure
felt
if
like
the bad guy is your ex-wife.
It felt like a Blood Dragon-y type thing. Did you guys ever play Far Cry
didn't. I know what it
Blood
is.
Dragon? It was very much like a Far Cry Blood Dragon 80s throwback action hero kind of
I just
thing.
was a
didn't know what
parody
the
of
joke
Duke Nukem.
was. Is the joke that it's like that the game's bad? Is why do you keep saying that he's your divorce lawyer? I didn't understand.
The joke
those are
is
just
that
jokes.
you're like
That's just
a
improv
rough
bullshit.
and tumble 80s action hero loser, like John McClane kind of character.
Is that what it was doing?
Yeah.
All right.
yeah.
Well, I thought it was fucking hilarious. I thought
but
it was pretty
then-
clearly
no,
a Duke Nukem parody that took it to like a 10, but like a real 10, where it was like it's not just like the villain is some busty bimbo. They're say over and over again, the villain is your ex-wife.
But I
then-
love that all the robots were your ex-wife's boyfriends. Like that.
Oh, God.
I thought that was funny.
And your divorce attorney is giving you advice, and that is, I don't know.
I didn't get it.
Well, I thought it was
You
fucking
don't speak
hilarious.
Het, Johnny.
It's just
That's
a-
the problem.
Okay.
It's just a tutorial level,
Right.
more than anything.
But
But I will say, like, I think it's worth sticking to because the game gets more interesting and does a lot more character work for everyone as you go through it, and I think the payoff is good. Like, it does add a lot of dimensions to all the characters, which makes it a lot more engaging, I think.
I was going to say the
It's
biggest
a-
misstep for me is right after the Blake Stone style MS-DOS game. It goes to your like teen sister who's like, I'm doing coke. Isn't this amazing and hilarious? I'm doing coke. I'm a
That's
teen
where it was
girl.
like,
Let's
this
do
is
coke.
edgelord shit, and you
Yeah.
do your character select from the
Coke mirror
cover.
I almost
mirror,
quit.
yeah.
I almost stopped playing the game there because, well, first of all, the game crashed and turned off my
Oh, weird.
computer.
Mine crashed a couple times too on the Xbox. But like that, and there's a lot of like gamer jokes in the first couple hours about like how stupid gamers are and stuff, and it's like, why does this game hate me? Like, I'm trying to enjoy it. Why does it keep making jokes at my expense?
It's
But
a really
it really lays off that like as you go.
That's
Yeah.
good. Because
at least
like,
as far as
it
I've
seems
seen.
like
Once
they
you get out into
actually
the world, it
have an interesting world. Why do they have to keep undercutting it? You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
it's a very loud game. Everybody on the street will talk to you. The enemies yell at you. If you're walking around town, there's usually TVs that will turn on and like play either something from like the person you're bounty hunting or just like random TV shows and commercials and stuff.
And Tammy
That
and the
stuff is-
T-Rex. The
that
entire
stuff
movie.
is very much interdimensional cable from Rick and Morty, which I think is
There's-
pretty funny. But yes,
there's
and
a
Tammy and the
whole
T-Rex, the whole
There's a
ass
whole-
movie.
There's a whole ass custom movie in it that is riffed on by the Red Letter Media guys.
Like, what do you mean custom? Did they make
Yeah,
a
what
movie?
do you mean?
it's a movie that doesn't exist outside of the video game.
So they
I don't
made
know
a
how
movie.
long they made a movie and put it in the game and let
Wow.
the RLM guys riff on it. Which
It's
like, I
amazing
like
to me that they managed to license the entirety of fucking Tammy and the T-Rex, and it's just playing on your TV
how
all
much,
the time.
I think Rift Tracks did it too. How much can that cost? Like $300.
Well, Rift Tracks doesn't have to pay anybody, right? Unless you're saying they did like a live thing.
What was? Remember that game, the Shadows, or what was the one with the guy, the Darkness, and you could sit and watch
Oh,
an
yeah.
entire movie in that too.
Oh,
I
really?
remember that. Yeah.
Was it To Kill a Mockingbird or something?
No, it wasn't To Kill a Mockingbird. It was something like that though.
I've never
Yeah.
heard that before. That's crazy. I never played that game. I don't know why. And I kind of liked the comic book when that was a
The
thing.
second one's way better.
There was
And
a second one?
it's got Angelus in it too.
I don't know who
Anyway.
that is.
10 out of 10 great game. No, it's fun. Like I am enjoying it. It does have some. I agree with you both that it has some real downsides. The edgelordy stuff. I mean, even when I said it already. I'm a big Rick and Morty fan, but even Rick and Morty for me sometimes it's too fucking edgelord. Though it's no fucking South Park, so it ain't that bad.
And it's on
Anyway.
Game Pass, so I spent. I was already gonna have Game Pass,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like. Yeah, it's a good way to try and try it. Download it, see
Yeah,
if
it
you
is,
like
yeah,
it.
for
If you
sure.
don't, you
I
didn't
hope-
spend any money on it, so it's fine.
I hope it's not too long. Like I hope that it's kind of not a bite-sized game. I don't want it to be 3 hours.
I
but
think
I don't
I'm
want
towards
it.
the end of it, and
Would
it's
how-
pretty. It's pretty breezy, and I've probably put 8 hours into it.
Yeah, I kind of think that's perfect for something like this. Like, you don't want, man, I don't need 20 hours of this. I won't be able to get through 20 hours of it.
Yeah.
You're making us play 25 hours of Dadgum
Danganronpa.
And
Dang old grandpa.
that's the bonus game. That's not the same thing.
That's true. And also, I have a feeling I'm going to enjoy it once I get started on it.
I wish
Yeah.
you would get started on it. I'm starting to worry about time.
I'm busy.
We all have time off
know.
coming up very soon, Matthew.
I know. I've been playing Danganronpa with my daughter, and she does all the voices, and it's delightful and fun.
Aw, that's cool.
And she did offer to do the voices for me as well, apparently. But
She did. I told her I don't know how that's gonna. I don't think that would
Yeah,
work.
I don't
see how
think
you
it
could
would
possibly do that. So I don't think so. But thank you for offering. It's fun though. It's cute. I mean, she also makes me do a lot of the reading, which, oh boy, it turns it into a kind of makes it work. But that's all right. We're having fun, and I guess that's my whole level up. Johnny, would you like to go next?
Sure, I know Jim wanted to go next, so I should probably go.
Oh, sure.
And
Oh, yeah. That's okay.
No,
Sorry,
Jim,
I thought you
you
were
go
being
first.
gracious at first.
You
Okay.
go first.
I'll make mine short. So we already talked about High on Life. The other thing that I did, or the other game I played, was it's a free PS Plus game this month, Biomutant, which is like a open world action RPG.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
was
a
interested in that,
tactical,
but it got
right?
kind of shitty reviews.
No, it's not tactical. Yeah, I was excited about it. And
Oh,
then the
you're
reviews
thinking
were
of the one
kinda
with
middling.
the ducks, John. What
Yes.
was that?
Yeah, I still wanna
That's
play that
Bio
one.
something.
Zero
Bioshock.
Bio
Duck
Yeah,
Hunt.
Xeno Mutant.
I don't know.
Duck-
Bioshock.
I already said that.
But I will say Biomutant, I thought it was really good. It has one of those annoying voiceover thing that intrudes constantly, kind of like High on Life that you can turn down as a narrator. But I like exploring areas in that game and getting loot and crafting new melee weapons and stuff and guns is actually really fun, and you can find really cool gear. I didn't think the plot was super interesting, but the combat is fun. Exploration is cool. I mean, if you can get it for free from PS Plus, give it a shot. I really enjoyed my time with it. I think it's good. And John, I will now pass it to you.
All right. I have been playing a lot for some reason. I booted up Cyberpunk and did the world's most boring mission. Now, Vanessa, you've played Cyberpunk.
I have. It stars my best friend, Johnny Silverhand.
And I was doing the mission where you're like scoping out a place with that guy who used to work for Arasoka. I can't remember his character's name. And it was so boring. It was so... They were just talking about their childhoods and growing up in the streets of Japan and being recruited by Arasoka to be a soldier. I couldn't do it. So then I I went and watched some of that James Bond movie, No Time to Die. And I was like, well... so I watched it. I got through. And I was like, well, if there's like half hour left, I think I'll just stop now and watch the ending later. And then it felt like there's half hour left, and there was an hour and a half left. I can't. That movie was so boring. Everything's boring
I
me.
saw it in the theater, and I kind of barely remember it.
So I was getting bored by that. Then I played. My friend works for Epic now. He just got a job at Epic pretty recently. So I was playing some Fortnite because they just released. It's like the new Unreal Engine is running on it. I wanted to see how it runs on my computer, and he works for the company, so it was interesting to talk to him about it. And that game's pretty.
But that's a baby game for babies, Johnny.
Yeah, but a lot of grown-ups play it too.
Oh.
I just wanted to see what it was like. And I was playing the zero build mode with him, which is more like PUBG, but it's not that much like PUBG. It's way more like, I don't know, it feels more actiony and like comic booky than PUBG, which feels more gritty and real. It's okay. That game sure wants you to spend a lot of money on it.
Yeah. Because it's free, right? Ostensibly.
I think PUBG's free now too.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. And I also have been playing.
Did you fight some 8-year-olds, Johnny?
I don't know. I assumed I was just fighting bots, but I don't know. We were doing well. Who knows? It's hard to say.
All those years of PUBG have made you ready for Fortnite.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to take those 8-year-olds down.
Yeah. Take that, 8-year-olds. I assumed the 8-year-olds would destroy me at PUBG. So yeah, I was kind of just bouncing between different games and playing. Oh, you know what I ended up sticking with, and that was not boring, is I booted up Fallout New Vegas, and I was doing like side stuff and characters that I never met before. Like I was Lily. I recruited her as a companion, and she's so fun. Did you ever get Lily?
Is she the Brotherhood woman?
No, she's like, oh, hello, dearie. Come
yeah,
talk
yeah.
to Grandma.
Yeah.
She's a super mutant, and she's just a nice old lady, although she does have the occasional psychotic break.
Yeah. She's
And I
great.
guess that whole town she's from directly relates to Fallout 2, and I really want to play Fallout 2 because like Michael Dorn's obviously a character. He's like talks about meeting the nomad from Fallout
Michael
2.
Dorn is in it?
Yeah, I believe it's Michael Dorn or someone with a very Michael Dorny voice, and they're talking about how they were doing this, like just the plot of Fallout 2, I think. So like, oh, I still want to play that and see how all that relates to this stuff. And I was doing the vault for, you know, the vault that has the plants in it, Vanessa? The one that's like the plants will kill you?
Yes.
Yeah, I was doing that vault. That vault's neat, and it's got like really cool soundtrack and just like really ominous sounds, and so yeah, I'm just exploring.
Yeah, they do a good job of hiding the enemies too, I think.
I think the first time I finished Fallout New Vegas, I only found Arcade Gannon.
Oh wow!
So there's like
I
all
don't
this
even
stuff.
understand how you could do that.
I don't know, but he also disappeared. Like, I played through most of the game with no companion because Arcade Gannon just walked away, and then, like, towards the end of the game, he walked back, like, right when I was about to finish it. He just, like,
It's like,
him and-
hey, I was here all along.
yeah. So there's, I think there's a lot of the game I never really explored, and last time I played it was, 13 years ago, so.
It's a great game, and I would love to play it for the show, but nobody votes for it.
Well, but
and I
Vanessa,
put
don't
it up
forget our
for
idea for 2023.
election.
It's up to me, and by me, I mean you.
That's right. I do remember that idea.
Yeah, we talked about it a bit of Jim. What did you think of the idea of all of us doing a vote? Like, so one vote would just be Jim's picks, and one vote would be Vanessa's picks, and one vote would be Matthew's picks and Johnny's picks, and so on and so forth.
I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, I think that would be good. That way we all get a game that we want to play. So, anyway, yes, I've been playing Fallout New Vegas, and what a good game.
Mm-hmm.
What a good game Fallout New Vegas is. It takes a little while just to, because it does feel a bit clunky and old at first. I was surprised at how much it aged.
It starts you in a funny place for a Fallout game, because
Yes.
most Fallout games really ease you into the world, and New Vegas just sort of treats you as if you'd been living in the world and are aware of it.
Yes, but I think that's good. Mm-hmm. And as Matthew and I talked about, I played some High on Life, and yeah, Fortnite not my favorite thing, but still it's fun to play with friends. I'd play more of that. I'd buy. There was no skins I wanted to buy, but if there was a beefy boy that I wanted to play as, I would totally get that beefy boy skin. So hopefully that will come out in the future. Anyway, I think that's it for Level Up. So how about we crack open the quest log?
What is it about Jim being here that makes the level up go 30? The beginning of the show go 30 minutes
Mine
longer
was
than
so
the rest.
Short.
Yeah, his was short. You know what? It was just that this time we had more to talk about. Like that we
Yeah.
all played High on Life, I think was the big part of it.
Yeah, all of us. I think we
All
also
of
like
us.
we want Jim to think that we're cool and interesting people, so we really try to sell what it is we're doing in our life.
And we have to cut out so much when Jim's not here because we're like, oh. And then Vanessa's like, this is what happens when Jim's not here, which is a quote from the part we had to edit out, or Matthew edited out last time.
Yeah, Jim really keeps us on track. He's basically like
Jim's gone.
No,
Yeah,
he's
He
there with
left. His
he's
camera is
there
off. His
with
microphone
cat.
is muted.
He's picking up
left.
Chungus and
My cat
disconnecting.
jumped in my lap and got tangled up in my headphone cord.
Jim's like kind of like the like teacher, but a fairly young teacher. So like we're like, hey,
cool
Mr.
teacher.
J, we want you to think we're cool kids, or like a youth pastor maybe. Jim's the youth pastor of the show.
So, now there's a screenshot that I need to go back and try and grab of Ryan talking about the daddy Telethia here. Did you manage to find that screenshot or grab that, Vanessa? I did ask you to.
You did, and I did not.
Oh. So it starts, if you remember last time, we got Riki, the hero pawn, hero of Frontier Village. Vanessa, what do you think of Riki?
I love him. He's the greatest video game character of all time. He's perfect. He's a little poof. He talks like, Riki!
Hero Pod
Basically
save
a Pokemon
sidekicks!
with a slightly larger vocabulary.
He does describe himself as the hero of the game, which he is, and all the other
hero of the game.
all the other ones as his sidekicks, and that they all get
whom sidekicks go on quest.
Riki's Hom Hom. He always calls them Hom Homs.
Riki loves Hom Hom.
Oh, it's so good. Like, you never get tired of something like that.
Nope. And if you have the battle dialogue on, he will yell all the time, all about his very special. Riki is super cool.
He's Russian Winnie the Pooh is what he sounds like, and I hate it. I hate it.
And his ears are hands because he's a Nopon, and that's what their ears are like. And he does have this weird, like, anthropomorphic mallet thing or club. That's his weapon, and I love it. It's got like a face. He's great. What a good character. At this point, you might think I'm lying here, but unless it's a big tough battle, I swap out Shulk for Riki every time. Because I love Riki. And depending on which three characters you have, there's different dialogue. All the the sort of comments they make to each other during fights. So if you want to switch it up, just like mess around and try different characters. This is the first chunker that makes you play as someone other than Shulk, though. So I know you are all scared of that idea.
We were very scared, very afraid.
Shulk
is our security blanket.
And I don't mean like the figuring it out or whatever. I just mean like they
Your
literally
dick.
stick one enemy in front of you at a time, and they're like, "Here you go, fight this." Okay.
And they do put multiple, but they're like it stops the game. Is like put the other ones to sleep.
Yeah, that's right. It does. It's like hello. Do it in a Justin Roiland voice.
Holy fuck, there's fucking 3 guys coming at me! Oh shit, you better put the other dude to sleep!
I would like this game more if it was like that.
If that's how all the tutorials were.
Oh man, wouldn't that be funny? I would like that a lot, actually. Like, let's say an RPG like this where you have a rotating party that has a lot of dialogue, but if the dialogue was, let's say, more kind of fun, like more realistic, still cartoony and comedy, but more realistic. So it's less like, oh, let's defend against these monsters, and more like, oh shit!
More like, Hero Pod going to save the day! Hero Pod gets sidekick Hero Pod, super cool!
Fuck, I hate that. I kept him in my party a lot just to like play with him. He's okay, but eventually Charla became my girl.
She's great.
I did a lot of having to hunt down monsters that were flying in this chunker, and basically the only way to start an encounter with some of those things, if they're low level, is to get Charla to shoot them.
Right, yeah. Or find them in try and get to higher altitudes yourself, because they will just circle overhead, and your character will like run around trying to fight them and not be able to. It actually gets really annoying, but it's also kind of funny.
It worked. I played as Charla some, and that worked for me. It was just running around as Charla, shooting shit out of the sky.
So, you've agreed the Hero Pond's going to join you and Malia to kill Daddy Telethia, and that's what Ryan calls it, so that's what it's called. So you head back to the Machina Forest, and you got to find this Telethia. And at this point, the game is really letting you know how the levels work, because to get to that Telethia, you have to sneak by like a level 96 Tammy and the T-Rex. So the game's like, don't fight this thing.
Yeah. Happily, they're usually pretty big, the things that you can't fight, so
Yes.
you aren't liable to accidentally stumble into one.
Right. Except if they're
Sometimes-
birds.
Yeah, the birds and the fish too. If you find yourself swimming and one of those fishes around, you're fucked. I mean, you can run away from them easy enough, but
Yeah.
like they're gonna chase you the whole time.
And I did get lost a bit in the swamps, but then I remembered, oh yeah, there's a map I can just pull up here. I don't need to
Yeah.
be lost. And there's like
easy.
breadcrummies you can follow to.
John,
Yes.
don't say that word on this
It's an
show.
official
all
square
right?
roots word.
This is an Atkins podcast. We do not talk. You do not say the B word.
Oh, okay. Sorry. What was that? What's that terrible thing that restaurants are trying to convince you to eat instead of pizza, where it's like cauliflower?
Cauliflower crust.
Anything cauliflower has, in my experience, is not good. I like cauliflower. I like cauliflower just fucking fine.
You know,
If my
actually,
rice is cauliflower, it turns out that just makes everything taste like cauliflower.
I got this like big. It was a giant bag for $5. They called it cauliflower coleslaw, and actually that was fine. That was pretty good. It's a little heavier than real coleslaw, but it tasted good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You guys ever gotten a big head of cauliflower and made like a cauliflower steak?
No, because I just make a
Just
regular steak.
Just
out
a
of
big
real meat.
cauliflower slab that you cook in like a cast iron. Pretty good.
Sounds pretty gross.
Why wouldn't I just have a regular steak at that point?
Maybe you're
Well-
vegan.
Oh.
Yeah. Or like, chop some cauliflower up and season it and throw it in the air fryer. Pretty good.
I don't care
For sure, that's one of my go-tos.
cauliflower, and I also really resent it when it tries to be macaroni and cheese.
There's a cauliflower mac and cheese?
Oh, all the
I feel you.
time.
I resent it when it tries to be chicken wings. Like,
Ooh,
don't,
cheesy cauliflower.
don't you put buffalo sauce on yourself and try to call yourself a wang.
Yeah, and don't put cheese on yourself and be like, oh, it's mac and cheese. It's not. It's cauli and cheese.
So I went through and did all the like hunting quests and stuff here, and then I eventually found the Leon Telethia, the daddy Telethia, and fought that. And then it comes back, and you got to fight it again. The big thing with this fight is you have to have the purge aura thing because it gets spikes so that it damages
really
you if
fucking
you
dumb.
hit it, and so you have to have Shulk in the party. Now the big thing is this is Malia's moment to really attack and kill this thing that killed her friends. I didn't have her in my party.
Yeah, me neither.
She's actually kind of a weird one to control. Actually, I think of all the characters,
Yeah.
her combat's the weirdest, but the game does
You
give
should
you a
save that
tutorial
until we
on it.
have to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. So I just forgot to put her in there and just had my regular like.
I like her. I like having her in the party. I like having a mage in there. She does fun stuff.
So you kill it twice. Eventually, it's dead for real. There's a big. I did like the cutscene in the middle, like showing them all doing their combat moves. That was pretty fun.
The daddy's so nice you kill it twice.
Exactly.
I forgot what these fucking Telethia looked like until one showed back up in the game when I was playing it this week.
They're like weird
You kept
blobby
describing them
dragons.
as dragons, and I was
Yeah.
like, I don't remember that. And yeah, you're right. They're like dragon-shaped blobs. It's the most boring fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
If a gummy bear was a dragon, basically.
Oh, we didn't talk about the Moppets in High on Life. I liked the Moppets.
I don't think I
Little
got there
Care
yet.
Bear things.
I haven't got there yet.
They looked furry. They looked like the aliens from that Star Wars game.
I haven't. Don't spoil it. I haven't got there yet.
No spoilers for whatever the heck you keep talking about. I'm never going to play that game. No,
Why not?
sir.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Because I'm afraid of Tim Robbins.
Oh,
afraid
Tim
of
that's fair.
Robinson, not Tim Robbins.
Yeah, no,
if she
she's
likes
afraid
it
of
in
Tim
plays the whole
Robbins.
game, she'll have to admit
I mean,
that
she
Rick
got
and Morty
very
and I think you should
scared.
leave our 10 out of 10 great shows.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of.
Jacob's Ladder. She did not
Yeah,
like.
Jacob's Ladder. What's that one where he plays like a suburban terrorist?
Suburban Commando.
Yep.
No.
I'm scared of all of it.
It's like something Drive.
Mulholland
Holland
Drive.
Drive.
No, that's David Lynch.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about too.
Yeah.
Drive,
it
Kill,
has
Repeat.
Jeff Bridges in it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tim Robbins, very scary.
And
So
the
we head
Hudsucker
back.
Proxy, terrifying.
We head back to Frontier
My favorite
Village,
scary movie.
and the Chiefy Pawn is very happy that you've killed this Telethia, and she's like, "Well, thank you all so much for helping me." And especially you, Shulk, I'll show you how to get to Milf Island, where you want to go fight the metal face. And since you helped me on my quest, I'll help you on yours. So we decide to all go to Milf Island. But before we go, to celebrate the hero pawn killing the Telethia, Wifey Pawn and the kids show up.
Wifey Pawn!
He's a real family man.
Yeah, like a real family man. Like he's been busy.
Mm-hmm. And I do like that everyone kind of negs Riki. That's great. Even the family.
Yeah. And his wife seems to indicate that she has run up a lot of debt while he was gone.
Well,
and now
the chief
she
seems
needs
to be
him
pulling
go
a
work.
Tom Nook, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. And the leader of the village is in league. They are working this man to death, I guess. I don't know what this is supposed to be. It's very strange.
Some kind of cuck situation.
Wow, I don't know about that.
Riki, classic cuck.
Yes, exactly.
So the whole hero pawn thing is just like a joke. They're like, this fucking moron, he's a piece of shit. Let's
I
call him
bet
the
those kids aren't
hero and
even
send him out to
his.
die.
Come on, I mean,
And also the chief says that he was a hero pawn and killed the Telethia to wipe out all his debts, but now with all these kids, he was going to get more debt.
Yeah, and he's been working so hard. I doubt he's been coming home to, generate some progeny, if you know what I mean.
Well, you don't know how their anatomy works.
That's true. But I'd like to find out.
Oh, no.
Come here, you little puffball.
So the chief says in order to pay off the future debts that he's very sure that Riki is going to generate.
He goes into debt feeding his children.
Yeah, I think so. He's going to send
Cool.
the hero pawn to join the Hom-Homs and aid them on their quest. So Riki
Hom-Homs.
joins. They're not French.
Please say it like that from now on.
Hom.
Yes, thank you. The Hom-Homs.
So Riki will join you as a member of your party. And
Yay.
you all head to Aerith Sea. To get
Let's
to Aerith
describe
Sea,
Riki. He's 2.5 feet tall.
Well, Vanessa did. He's a big puffball.
He's furry.
poof.
He has ears that are very long and have what appear to be fingers, and he uses those as a second set of arms.
He has a battle scar on his tummy.
He's naked, but if you give him a hat, it will be like he has the cutest fucking hat you've ever seen in my game. It is like a tiger striped fucking covering for his ears, like long gloves or something with like a poofball type top. It is amazing.
Mm-hmm. And he has what I thought was maybe like a second set of arms, but I think they're wings, but they kind of sit around his clavicle, and then he
really?
unfurls them occasionally and flitters them.
No, those are his ears.
Are they his ears? Does he fly with his ears?
Yeah, he does. And he also uses it to like carry his weapon and stuff.
Oh,
He's
okay.
got tiny little arms on his like torso, but they don't seem to get used much.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I swapped headphones.
Johnny.
All right. So we climb up the tree, and at the top, there's a big pool at the top of the tree, and some kind of teleport thing. This guy says he'll teleport you to the High Entia Sea, which is above the tree? I don't understand the geography.
Well, you're like, where are we at this point? Where is the...
Oh, yeah, that's true. We're going... I guess High Entia is like in the head, so we're about to go to the head of the Bionis.
I think we're around the head now. I think High Entia is on the back. Or like the head has... Let's pull it up. The head has like a big... It's like a cone head. It goes backwards, I think. Xenoblades.
Just look up Aerith Sea and see where it is on the Bionis, because usually there's like a little indicator if you load it up on what part of the Bionis. Oh, okay. The Aerith Sea is located on the Bionis's neck protrusions.
Ew, what?
Is
Yeah.
Adam's apple?
Yeah, it's his
no,
Adam's
he's got
apple.
he's got like a big like cone heady. It's not a cone head. I don't know how to
Kind of
describe it.
goiter.
No, it's from the back of his neck out.
Oh.
Like a hunchback.
I just gave my cat pain medication, and now she's very high.
Oh, cool. Like a bone spur.
Yeah, I'm sending a picture to the chat that's like a profile pic, so you can really see it. from
Oh,
the
it's
side.
like Bionis for Bionis, and he's like doing the duck face to the camera. So where's the neck protrusion?
This is the thing poking out of the back of his head.
Oh.
Oh. It's a wing.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know.
Hair?
It's like
Pokes out of the back of his
antler.
head, not his back. Anyway, the Bionis is a big weird looking monster, so it's not like it looks like a man.
Right.
And this thing's on like the shit on it's like antlers, I guess. I don't know.
I've been trying to give Porky oral medication, and when she's high, it's pretty easy because she just lets me in there and go. I can just go squirt, squirt. But if she's not high and it's oral medication to get her high, that's pretty tough.
Johnny, Johnny, you're going to get
What?
yourself canceled here talking about how it's easy to squirt into her mouth when it's high. Come on.
No, this is medication. How do you give your cat oral medication?
Well, I don't give my cat oral, thank you very much. Medication.
Dory, my cat Dory is weirdly easy with oral medication. Like I can just kind of pinch her cheeks and she'll open up wide, and I can poke the pill straight down her throat and she'll be fine.
Jim, back me up here.
What do you mean?
I
Jim
don't
hates
know.
oral. Everybody knows it.
Jim hates oral.
He will not go
It's because of
downtown and
Jim's-
eat it like a vulture.
It's
He
because of
keeps
his neck
an
protrusion.
Advil
He can't
between
sit
his
like
lips.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to be. I can't be. Got to hover over me. It's a hard thing.
What?
Did you just
What I
say?
miss?
Boy, never describe something like that again.
So with Porky, as what I've been doing is with the there's two things I have to give her. The one I have to give her before food, I just like squirt on her face and she licks it off. I was like, okay, that's good enough for me. And Vanessa, don't make that into a sexual thing. I'm trying to help my sick cat.
Okie dokie.
And the other one I just mix in with her food, and that's easy enough. She eats it that way. I don't
it in
care if it
there.
doesn't work. I don't care if it doesn't work. Vanessa, no more hand signals.
I was mixing in the bowl.
I
Stirring
just
it
like
up.
put it in the gravy
Yeah, yeah.
that she's got in her bowl. So
Shove it in.
I stopped paying attention for a minute, and I came back to hear you guys still talking about cat medicine. So, Aerith Sea.
all right, so Aerith Sea. One thing I like. So as soon as you get to the Aerith Sea, Shulk sees these floating islands. He's like, "The islands are floating. How does that work?" And Malia's like, "I don't know. I never really noticed it before. It's just normal." And Shulk's like, "But they're floating. How do they float? This seems to be against the physics." And she's like, "I don't care. What's physics? I'm a princess."
I don't love this area because it is a bunch of little islands and you teleport between them. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. It just feels kind of lame. What do you
I-
think?
Oh, I think it's magnets.
Yeah,
How do those
that's
things
true.
work?
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
So they don't explain how the islands float, but they do. And there's little connectors, and so yeah, you warp between them.
We fucking
And-
live on a giant corpse. Why does any of this need to be explained?
I don't know. Shulk is
The
a
boy
scientist.
carrying a magic sword should not be questioning why these islands are floating. That's all I'm saying.
So she heads, she's like, okay, well, this is the way to my palace. So you go to the super fancy palace, which is the fanciest place you've been to in the game, and really seems like a different world than like the kind of broken down post-apocalyptic sci-fi colonies. This seems more like a fancy magic castle, but not the magic castle in LA. That's different.
If only it was.
I went on
What's that?
I went on a couple of dates with a guy who had like a pass, like a membership at the Magic Castle, but he never took me there, and I was so sad.
That's the only reason to date him. Come on. Jim, the Magic Castle in LA is like ground zero for dreamy guys. Like, if you want to meet a hottie, you got to head to the Magic Castle. Am I right, Johnny?
It is like the head of it was like a private club for magicians. And
Oh.
so it's all like, close up magic and big magic shows. They would do their magic shows there, but it was like a private club that you had to like know someone to get into. And it just got bought by Disney, right?
I don't know. I had to unsubscribe from Magic Castle Weekly because it was making me too hot and bothered when it pinged in my inbox.
So yes, if you they do make fun of it in Arrested Development, except they call it the Gothic Castle. And they do have someone with a Cockney accent, and it sounds like he wants to go to the Gothic asshole, and then they take him to a gay bar instead. Remember that with Tobias?
I don't remember that. I watched that show like last year too, maybe this year.
But what's his face? Job gets kicked out of the Gothic castle because he reveals how a magician does a trick. I think that's the first episode. Oh,
Job.
Never mind. Yes, Job. So at this point, you guys go inside Fancy Castle. It's like super high tech magic fat castle place, and there is one of my favorite things that keeps showing up in these JRPGs, exposition mural. But it's one of them's just the Bionis stabbing the Mechonis.
Mm-hmm.
But there's another one. That one's just glyphs, and it's like she's like Malia's like, yeah, that one. I don't know. It's like some kind of prediction about the future and chosen ones and stuff. Cut to everyone getting arrested. Everyone arrested because the boy has the Monado. We haven't talked about the Monado much this episode, and
What's to say?
Elvis is there with the Emperor, and the Emperor's like, well, I don't know. The Monado is supposed to bring ruin to this castle and this empire. And
But like only maybe.
Yeah.
I think they're saying that if the Monado's born by someone with a pure heart, it's all good. If it's wielded by an asshole, bad times ahead.
Right.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I thought it was that it could only be wielded by somebody with a pure heart. No, you're right, because
Nope.
I'm sorry.
It could go either
100%
way.
Right. Yeah.
And I guess Alvis is like the king's seer because he gets. I mean, we'll find out more about this later, but he does get like psychic flashes too.
Mm-hmm. I got some
Cool.
theories about Elvis.
Oh yeah. Well, what are they?
I think maybe he's like Shulk's brother or something like that. Seems to be
He does seem to be a
indicating
Hom.
something about bloodlines. Yeah.
And,
does anybody else think all of these people are clones of some kind? This is a real Xenogears situation.
well, it is by the same writer.
Yeah. I keep thinking that it is Xenogears because I cannot keep Xenogears and Xenoblade straight in my head.
Well, this one's nowhere near
could?
as frustrating.
Well,
And
one of them
annoying.
has a bunch of Xenobabes, and one of them doesn't. Easy peasy. Beautiful. Cover girl.
Yes, exactly. The Emperor then, I guess, talks to Malia, and they do eventually let you go. Because they're like, well, we've decided Malia's vouched for you, I guess. But now there's a big problem because some guards run up and say one of our soldiers is under attack and we don't have the units to spare. And Shulk volunteers, I guess, to sort of show what a great guy Shulk is. And Shulk will go help out the Emperor. The Emperor is High Entia, and he looks more elfy than
Redhead?
like Malia, and
Redhead.
Alvis doesn't look like an elf at all. But he's gone like super elf. He's got big ears and wings coming out of his head, that's more of a Thor thing or a Flash thing.
What?
They have little wings on their helmets.
They don't have little wings, though. They have huge wings.
Yeah, they have huge wings. Malia has like a headdress, which seems to be hiding wings, and you find out is hiding wings. So, but she got little tiny wings.
She's got little tiny ones, and Albus
Little
doesn't
baby
have any at
wing.
all.
Yeah.
I really would like to see them fly. We haven't seen any footage of them flying around, dangling from their wings.
We've seen the Nopons fly with their ear wings.
Yeah, but I feel like with a human it would be even more impactful because, like, imagine just dangling from your little head. Your body will, like, swing back and forth while you're flying around. It's going to be hilarious.
I think it would look pretty stupid, but funny. Like,
Well,
would your
hopefully we
body
get
just
to
be
see it.
like draping? I guess you need a lot of good core strength to not just be like dangling limply. You'd have to work on your core so that you could be like fighting while being picked up. You'd have to really work on your neck strength too.
Yeah, you would feel like your head was going to fall off the whole time.
And it
Yeah.
probably would.
So you take on this mission. This feels like busy work. There's a soldier near a lighthouse. You got to rescue him from some monsters. So you go do that and come back. And
Yeah. I mean, I took this opportunity to go do a gabillion side quests.
right, because there are a gabillion side quests you can pick
There
up
are.
at the palace, and you can talk to and meet a lot of people at the palace, and they're all a little snobby about the Homs. They feel like they're the superior beings and all that. It's a nice palace.
Yeah, but you can do a bunch of side quests and raise up your affinity level, and then people start to like you, which is nice.
Yay! So you head back after rescuing the soldier to the palace. I should give the palace's name. It actually has a name. It's not just Fancy Pants Castle. It's called Alcamoth. And you head back to Alcamoth, and they're like, oh, thank you so much. You're obviously not a bad guy and going to destroy the world with your Monado. So good on you. Why don't you go freshen up, have a rest? Ricky's sleepy, so, you got to take care of your little hero pawn. But when you do that, you do get attacked by ninjas.
Yeah. They're like ninja ladies.
And
They're
there
all
was a
masked.
cutscene. I forgot about that cutscene of Malia. She calls her mother. Her name's Yumiya Antiqua. She's the first. Vanessa is very insistent that we mention this, that she's the first consort of Emperor Antiqua. And the second consort is actually Malia's mom, and she was a Hom.
Yeah.
We learned that all of the emperors have a Hom consort, a second consort. And I think
And-
they may even say that the children always come from the consort, but maybe not.
Well, there's two consorts, and Kellyan, who is her brother, is he's like full High Entia with big wings. But the mom seems like she's like, oh, I don't want my daughter. Or she's not even my daughter. I don't want that half breed becoming the emperor. She has no right to become emperor. It should be my child. So this is all very like
I kind of like that he's not, or at least so far, he is not involved. He does not seem interested. The brother, it would be so easy to have the brother be like her underling, but instead he seems to be on the up and up and on the
Yeah.
side of the emperor, which is pretty nice. He's like a cool, nice character
Yeah.
that I like.
Like, my little sister. She's going to be a great emperor.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I got Vanessa to keep playing is because I did tell her there was going to be Palace Intrigue, like an episode
love
of
Palace Intrigue.
Claudius. So Vanessa, tell me about this Palace Intrigue. What's going on?
So the Palace Intrigue is that the first consort would prefer that her own progeny be named the Crown Prince, which means that they would take over from the Emperor when the Emperor dies or retires. However, the Emperor seems to be favoring his daughter by the second consort because she is capable of doing lots of different things, and the son doesn't seem to do anything.
This is very much like the new Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And I Claudius. This is the exact plot of I Claudius season 1.
And we are made aware of this because, like, the game makes no attempt to hide what is happening here. They're just
Yeah,
like,
it just cuts away to the mom.
she'll never be empress. I love my son. He's the one. She has a sidekick / minion who hangs out with her and is like, don't you worry, Empress. We're going to make sure that
I think that's
she never gets
Tyria.
the crown. Yeah. And, well, that's going on, and she's sort of monologuing. I think, doesn't the seer boy kind of hide around and peek at her, and then her own son hides around and peeks at her? Like, everyone is just kind of listening in to her grand monologues about how evil she is.
There's... Oh, go ahead.
So then they both kind of rush to where Shulk and Pals are to see what's going on with them.
And Shulk and Pals are being attacked by these masked ninjas. And they're like, you're going to die now for some reason. And they're easy. I don't know. I like Matthew, I've done all the side quests here, so I am way over leveled for every actual story beat right now, which is great. As it should be. So we defeat these ninjas. And meanwhile, Malia is undergoing a little test of her own. It has been decided that she's going to go to High Entia Tomb and do like the trial to become the next in line for the throne.
I think this part of the game is fantastic.
It's really good.
I loved it. Though the High Entia Tomb as a dungeon is pretty crappy.
It's small.
You're not in it for long, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But this game relies really heavily on bottomless pits.
Well, there's one point, because I was trying to get to a special chest in that, and I fell down a bottomless pit, and it pushed me back like 5 minutes in the game because I fell down a bottomless pit trying to get to this one chest. Yeah,
I fucking fell over and over again. I'm terrible at this. I don't know what it is. Like, I just have a hard time making the boy go straight. He often wants to veer off to the left or right, and then I'm too close, and maybe I like to jump. I'm a big
Vanessa
jumper in
has a
games
hard
like
time
this.
trying to make boys go straight, too. We should ask Jim for his recap of watching this on YouTube when he comes back.
He didn't watch it on YouTube. He watched the story recap, so he only knows the whole plot of the game. I don't want him to spoil this game for me.
Yeah, that's true. But and I feel like
I'm
he
real
might
nervous
accidentally...
about him. I'm real nervous about him jumping in and telling us something big, you know?
Yes. So this tomb, first we get Malia going into the tomb, and she's greeted by the AI, and she's like, "Are you a ghost of an ancestor?" And he says, "Well, no, I'm a AI of the brainwaves of the first emperor. So I'm like your great grandfather." And I'm going to do a little scan. Just hold right there. Okay, arms out.
Scanaroo.
Yeah, arms to the side. You don't have anything in your
up.
pockets, right? Okay. Yeah, looks good. So you've got 80% Hom's DNA, which is good because we're doing eugenics or something.
I don't know, man.
It's not clear what they're doing, but they're like, oh, yeah, you're totally going to be emperor. You're going to be the last emperor, and then there won't be any more. And she's like, what?
They say, like,
and they're like, nothing.
It says like eight generations till, I don't know, completion or something. So I don't know why she would be the last.
Well, they say that the High Entia are suffering a genetic curse. And
yeah, that's
she's
kind of
like,
what I was wondering. Like, are the High Entia going to die out if they don't figure out how to mix with the Homs? Maybe something like that.
Yeah, and she's like, she asks the AI, what do you mean? What does all that mean? He says, don't worry about it.
I like this. This is a good hook. I definitely got really interested in this game at this point. Like, what is going on? Like, part of me is cynical and is like, it's just going to be more. Xenogears was fucking nonsense, and it's just going to be nonsense.
I played Xenoblade 2.
It's just going to be some sort of
Xenoblade 2 stuck the story landing really well. Really? And people say this game has a better story than Xenoblade 2. So
Wow,
I'm kind of...
Don't get my hopes up too high, but I'm into it. I'm very interested in what's happening here. It's
because
weird.
so
you know?
far, Xenoblade 2 had a better cast of characters. Like, I liked them a lot more than I felt the characters here feel
Shulk
very
is
generic.
so fucking bland, and I
Yeah.
don't like Rain.
Like, I think
Charla
Rex is
also
a great
boring.
character from 2. The only, well, like, Ricky's good, and I like
No,
Ryan.
he's not.
Ryan's a fun himbo. But,
like
so speaking of which, so Malia gets granted entrance into the tomb, and cut to Shulk and his buddies. Well, you actually have to walk the whole way there and, like, I think do a puzzle or press a button to open the door or something. Oh no, just Alvis lets you in. That's it. He's joining you, and it's like, all right, here's how you do this. So you head over to the tomb, and as soon as you get in, Alvis starts explaining that there's a lot of high-tech security here, and you have to, like, so they're going to have to deactivate the security to get or bypass it. And meanwhile, Ryan's like, in a real Jar Jar Binks from that one episode of the Clone Wars I saw with Jar Jar Binks in it, goes like, "What's this button do?" and presses a button, and then it does open a big hole into, like, a pit for the robbers, the tomb robbers. The Tomb Raider room.
Yeah, it does. You do fall. You do a fall.
Mm-hmm. Including, you watch Riki try to float with his big wings. He cannot float enough. And they all fall down a hole to the robber drowning room.
The game does it's a good cut here, I think. It cuts here, and then you play as Melia.
Mm-hmm. And Malia's just got to fight some challenges.
Whatever.
On her own, and it sort of shows you how her combat stuff works, because she's got basically, you pick an element and then you summon the element, and you can get a skill that lets her resummon elements. It's a little complex.
You summon an element, and then it's basically it's a 2 button press move. You pick your element. Excuse me, I'm sorry. You pick your element, and then you like launch its attack.
And you have to build up the meter of that middle button to launch the attack, right?
Do you?
But I think it's fast. With her, it's pretty fast to do that meter. But once you're in that element, then you can do the attacks of that element, and then you can switch elements. It's a little more complex than the other characters, I find. Vanessa, how did you enjoy playing as Malia?
I didn't understand what I was doing, but I felt like if I summoned the water element, that seemed to heal her a lot.
Yes.
So
yes.
I just did that, and then
she has a sleep attack. She has a melee attack, which doesn't have anything to do with the elementals.
I found a shop somewhere that sold all Melia books. Malia books, and then so when I finally got control of her, I opened up the menu and farted around with her. She leveled up with the party, even though she was not in the party. So I actually had enough like extra stuff that I was able to swap in some different attacks that I wanted to use instead of, like, I took the copy one out and just used...
Oh, the copy one's good because then you don't have to wait for the summon bar to refill.
I didn't realize that. That does sound handy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I would keep that one.
Fine.
Yeah, it's not bad. I'm enjoying the combat in this game a lot. Although once again, I'm playing as Riki. Although what's his face is a really cool combat, Dunban, because Dunban's got like his lead attack, and then there's a bunch of follow up attacks you can do. That's
if
pretty
you do
fun.
them after the lead attack, they do different things.
Yeah.
So use Gale Slash, and then use this, and it'll do this, and then or use this, and it'll do this.
And he's got a really nice, his meter attack does, if you time it right, you can do a ton of damage. And it seems like they don't use it that much if you're not controlling them. I don't know. I think that's one of the best. Like, the AI doesn't seem super great. I would recommend trying Dunban too. I find Ryan's pretty boring. I don't like playing as a tank, but Dunban is a lot of fun. So she's just doing some fighting. Cut back. Oh yeah, she gets to. I think this is where she starts like praying at the altar, and that's where is she about to be attacked, and then it cuts back? Is that what happens? Yeah. Tyria shows up, and she's like, "I'm part of the ancient group of sisters that protect the empire." And Malia's like, "Well, you were all disbanded generations ago." And they're like, "Was not."
Were we, though?
I love the design of the masks that they wear. They're like sort of, I guess like, what do you call the
Like
the
Venetian
stuff that,
carnival masks a little bit?
yeah, they look like they're made out of a pot or so, what do you, ceramic. These like painted ceramic masks, and they're really spooky. Except, I think they overdid the vocal effect of muffling people with the masks.
Yeah, because they're like,
It's sort of like what they were originally, or a bit like how it was hard to understand Bane. And they had like tried a few different versions of Bane in the Bane movie, the Dark Knight movie.
I know I've said it before, but it would have been so cool if he just had like a thing that he held and then inhaled from sometimes and then talked, because then you could see his face, you could get more Tom Hardy acting, and it would be like an interesting new sort of thing of the character. But no.
I like that he's sometimes a good guy in the DC comics. And when they draw him as a good guy, they draw him super hot.
Who?
Bane.
Oh, yeah. Bane's terrible, though. Bane's introduction is one of the worst fucking things you've ever read. Kills a bunch of prostitutes to get
Oh,
Batman's
no.
attention.
Don't like
Not
that.
good stuff.
Well, my introduction to Bane was that Jeep Swenson playing him in Batman and
Yeah.
Robin. And I was like,
It's an interesting idea to have like a muscle character who's intelligent in that way. But I don't feel like I've ever seen anything actually nail it outside the comics.
It's good. He's good in Young Justice, but he's not as beefy. It's kind of, it doesn't quite work as well because he's like kind of normal looking.
yeah.
Also, the mask looks terrible.
So you have the muffled ninja attack, and cut back to Ryan, Shulk, and everyone. They've landed in the Robber Lake, which is labeled as like Robber Lake. It's a trap, a pit trap for Tomb Raiders. And like Lara Croft, you make your way through here, and there's a lot of climbing. I was playing as Dunban here, and I felt really bad making him climb with his one good arm.
Aw. But
he's
you know,
fine.
he's capable. He can do it.
Yeah, he can do it. And I like that there were some secret treasure rooms with secret bosses you could fight. I went through those. I had a lot of fun here. I know Matt didn't like it. It does remind me a bit of Rogue Galaxy. However, the dungeon is like 20 minutes long and not 8 hours long.
Yeah.
So,
I felt like that with the High Entia city. It's a little too big. It has that MMO feel to levels where there's just a lot of space for the sake of having space.
There's an auto run button for a reason, but I agree. Like, I don't enjoy that. I can put
I like
the thing
how
down.
big and that's kind of the gimmick with this game is that all the environments are really big. And same with 2 and 3 and X. They all have like
Well,
really
let me
huge-
At
say-
least your character moves really fast.
Yeah,
put
sometimes
something
it's-
in it. Put, vendors selling things or more
Well, they
NPCs
have a lot of
having a good
They
time.
have like
Well, I was
NPCs you
gonna
can
say, like,
find, and
Some of these spaces are good. The big cities I like for the most part. Even the colony's pretty large, and then the treehouse place is fucking big. It goes way up.
Yeah,
But they're
I
full
felt
of
like Tree
stuff.
was more alive though.
yeah.
And I think it
this
works
castle's a little
in-
too sparse.
I think it works in some of the areas where there's a lot of shit. Like like I'm trying to think. Like Bionis is maybe not Bionis Leg, but what's the one near that? That's just this huge fucking field that you spent like 3
Yeah,
or 4
that's
hours in.
Bionis Lake.
I mean,
Or
it's
Neat,
and there's a lot of
Bionis
shit.
Neat.
Or the area that had, I can never remember his name. Not gonna Standing Pete or whatever, Standing Rodriguez,
Yeah.
whatever his name is. Like that was a fun area because there was a lot of shit to do and find. But then sometimes you get stuff like this where even though this is short, so it's fine. It's not really a big complaint. But this, it just feels so big. This dungeon really reminded me of Rogue Galaxy a lot.
It looks and feels like Rogue Galaxy for sure, but this dungeon was small. The only
Yes.
trouble was that one chamber that you have to climb around. It was
Yeah, I
way
had some
smaller
trouble
than the
there. I
Ether
was
Mine.
bad at it.
and there is a boss you fight in the middle. The problem is that I fell off after the boss, and unfortunately you have to fight the boss again, although it doesn't have the
that happened to
cutscene.
me too.
Yeah, because I fell off trying to get a treasure chest after the boss, and you had to fight that guy again. I was a little
Wow,
annoyed.
that's crazy. I would have been so angry.
So you make your way through. You finally catch up to Malia as she's being attacked by Tyria. However, a Telethia appears as soon as you get there, and they're like, what the hell's a Telethia doing in the tomb? And you get double attacked.
Mm-hmm.
So this one, I find, because the Telethia is easier to kill, I don't know. The Telethia, like, grabs
I don't remember having to use
aggro.
Purge on it.
Yeah, this was not as hard as the other Telethia. So you just concentrate on one, and then you can kill the other one very easily.
Yeah.
But when there's
Yeah,
two...
I tried to go after the lady first, and she was, I don't know, she blocked everything. I couldn't do anything against her. But then
You
once
have
I
to
killed
do
the Telethia,
combos on her, I think.
Yeah. And I actually, like, I was down to one person until I killed that Telethia, and then I got my gauge back, and I could bring people back. But I almost died in this fight. Like, it was pretty close.
The first time or the second time?
Do you fight them both twice?
No, I think Johnny meant the like mini boss that you fight on the way
Oh.
here. That you had to do twice. That's what happened
Oh,
to me.
yeah. The big boss I only fought once, but it was a tough one where I did almost die. That was a tricky one, but it was an interesting fight. And so you defeat her. Does she run away or does she die?
She
Can't
just
remember.
disappears. It seems like.
Okay.
She
But-
runs away, I think. But yeah, she vanishes.
So you head back to the castle and you explain that you were attacked by this ancient order, which is, I guess, been kept alive in the background, and then cut to her coronation. This reminds me of episode 1 a lot.
Yeah,
because she's got that ceramic mask.
Didn't she wear the mask? Didn't we see her in the mask already, though? Wasn't she wearing the mask when she got to the
Yeah,
tomb?
when it was announced that she was going to the tomb.
Right.
That mask was weird looking on her.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I liked it on the bad guys, but on her it was a little weird. It kind of looks like a tragedy mask.
Mm-hmm.
Looks very unhappy. Anyway,
So she's been announced as the official next in
She's
line
the
for
heir.
the throne. And meanwhile,
This causes a hubbub in town. There's a crowd
Yeah.
shout, and they're like, hubbub, 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 hubbub.
yeah, we don't
and
really know
everyone-
why. I guess because she's not.
she doesn't
Really?
look very. She seems to have a lot of Hom's DNA, and
Yeah,
was
she's
from
got
the
tiny
Homs
little wings.
consort.
She's got tiny little head wings. Teeny tiny little head wings.
Well, she covers them up too. Well, and there's a weird line about how she doesn't want them to. Well, I guess that's technically next chunker. There's a line
Yeah,
about how
no
she doesn't want.
spoilers.
Okay, we'll talk about
You
it next
already
time.
spoiled that there's little wings under there.
Sorry,
Would
I
you
can't remember
rather?
if that was this chunker or not.
Would you rather have head wings or ankle wings?
Do either of them let me fly?
Yes, both let you fly.
I feel like I'd constantly be
Ooh.
falling over if I had ankle wings.
Yeah,
But I feel like I would be
I don't have good
more
balance.
balanced, yeah, if I had head wings.
But
ankle
I feel like
wings,
with
you
ankle
need, like,
wings,
core strength.
Yeah.
I feel like with ankle wings, you would be better able to control yourself in the air because it's more like standing on the floating and not hanging from your skull.
It really sounded like
So
Vanessa
ankle wings
said
is my
horse
choice.
strength.
Yeah, she probably did. You need more
Yeah.
horse strength for ankle wings.
Swerker strength.
Toot strength.
Yeah. I guess I have more brain power than toot strength, so I'll go head wings.
Toot strength.
So finally, at the very end of this chunker, is a cut to.
Not to say that toots can't also have brain power.
Yeah. Wow, Vanessa. I don't think that needed to be said,
Well, I think it does.
But I'm glad she said it.
but
Yeah.
I'm glad you said it. Yeah.
Well, I'm offended.
Cut to
I'm an edgelord now.
the Mechon HQ, which has a lot. It's very dark, and there's a lot of like bioorganic machinery around, and there's a lady Terminator there, lady robot. And
The metal face that we recognize that sounds like the friend of Dunban and Dixon's from the beginning of the game
yeah,
is there.
The cowardly
and he's
man.
yelling at a new feminine, let's say, robot.
He's
That's-
really excited
How
about
does he
it.
refer to her? He calls her a pacifist, or he like mocks her for being soft-hearted. Or
Ooh, just say a
something.
lady robot?
yeah.
Feminine.
Is she a pleasure model?
She's not. She's
Oh.
she's another mechon, but she's more ivory colored. She's sort of got like white and gold rather than the black and metallic look of the other ones.
Mhm.
And
She looks like RC. That's what she looks like to me.
yeah, and this evil guy Claus McGee really wants to show her up, and he's like, well, we've almost finished developing the new weapon and we're gonna finally attack the High Entia. Although the Emperor did explain that they got lots of guns on this palace and it's like super defensible, so that's why they don't have to worry about mechon attacks like the colonies do. And they're gonna attack, and their secret weapon is a glowy spear. It was a little underwhelming. I was expecting a big robot, and the reveal was a little spear.
We're gonna poke him with this stick.
But Claus McGee seems very upset by this new lady mechon. He's like, I'm gonna show up this lady. She doesn't know what
Yep.
she's doing. Yeah.
Well, he says that she doesn't have a soul yet, and she needs
Oh.
one.
Is that
Now,
what
Vanessa
you get when
and I-
you eat a human? You get a soul?
Jim, shut your mouth. Vanessa and I, just because we don't want you to spoil this, are theorizing that Fiora is going to be part of that robot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's the Fiora bot.
Yeah.
We think
Was it
that bot's
Vanessa and
gonna
I?
eat her up.
We're all theorizing it.
No, it's just me and Johnny, and
Why did I get
you don't
singled
think
out?
so.
We signaled out Matthew.
I said singled out.
Well, I think that
Don't make me butt a gust.
I'm actually looking back at the chat log about it, and what happened is Johnny said, "Hey Vanessa, are you thinking what I'm thinking?" And I said, "Yeah, I think that's Fiora." And he said, "Me too." And then Matt said, "No way, you guys are idiots. You don't know what
That's
you're
a
talking
lie."
about. That's never gonna happen."
What the fuck?
And then Jim's
Anyway.
like, I watched a video on YouTube. I know what's going to happen.
Yeah, he did. And then he started threatening us with spoilers, and it got
Yes.
really
I didn't
tense.
threaten you with spoilers. I said I wasn't going to spoil it.
It got really
Yeah,
tense in
if
the
we
group
do what
chat.
you say.
I mean, I haven't levied that threat yet, but I will.
As long as we keep
Depends
in
on
Jim's good graces.
depends on what's under the tree on Christmas Day. Guys.
I do fear this is going to run a little into Bio-January since we're like halfway through the game.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, no.
doesn't Bio January, I believe, traditionally does not start until the end of January.
Yeah, that's true.
Bio January is more in our hearts than it is on the calendar.
Maybe once we got it on time, but this has happened several times. So.
Yeah, there was
it's
one year
true.
when we had like a proper Christmas break, and we recorded a little skit, and nobody liked it.
Yeah. But people liked our ranking episode. So
They loved it.
and our Jeopardy. So I was happy.
Well, we've gotten better at bonus content, perhaps.
Yes. Well, we're not doing like 5 a month, which helps.
Yeah.
You don't have to play a full ass fucking 25-hour visual novel.
Wait,
What?
didn't you say that we do have to play a full
We
ass 5-hour,
do.
25-hour visual novel?
I mean, you don't have to play the whole game. Nobody's making anybody play the whole game.
Matt, you
Turn
know
it on.
as well as I
Try
do,
it.
once I start playing it, I'm going to play the whole game.
God, I
Yeah,
fucking
Vanessa
hope so.
does.
I like it.
If you can get Vanessa over the initial hump of actually playing it, she'll generally plow through.
Yeah.
It's really dumb and JRPG and stupid, but like I like the. I did the first trial and it felt a lot like Phoenix Wright. I had a good time. There's a really stupid shooting mechanic involved, but
Yes,
it's not
I
hard.
did not like that.
It's not even remotely hard. It gives you a slow the whole screen down button so you can aim good. There's an easy mode, so you're not going to have any problems.
So, will the glowy staff destroy Fancy Pants Castle? We'll have to find out next time. But before
Is that where it ends?
yeah,
I played ahead.
yeah, me too. any weird side quests you want to talk about?
Sort of.
I have one.
Oh,
I did a quest on Aerith Islands or whatever that area is called, the Aerith Sea. There's like a power plant or like a windmill plant or something, and if you go there, they tell you that I need you to collect all this stuff and fix my sci-fi tech for me, which is hilarious because you are a bunch of morons. I know that they're supposed to be scientists, but give me a fucking break. Like,
Yeah,
if
Shulk says he's a scientist all the time.
If Shulk was played by an actor, it would be a young Paul Walker for sure.
would he wear that slutty top that he wears in Tammy and the T-Rex?
Obviously.
Nice.
He says, you have to get all this stuff and repair our sci-fi tech for us. And then also hunt down the monster that did this. It's a named monster, by the way. They're like the bird people. They're called Hodes. And they don't seem to just be like creatures. They're like people.
Oh, yeah. They have a whole society.
Little
They have
mutant
families. They have
societies
children.
that you just go murder.
They have
It's
hopes and
crazy.
dreams.
And that's what I did. For one of them, I don't know, maybe there was a better way to do it, but for me, it was easiest to just jump off the island into the sea and swim over to the island that they were on so that I could kill them, which makes me laugh a lot. The giant jumps that you can do in this game into the water, like legitimately you can jump from terminal velocity
Yeah.
and be fine. I love it. It cracks me up.
It's a planet of soft water, I guess.
You're not even jumping into the water on like the bottom of the planet. Like you're jumping into a pool of water that's on this thing's head. But anyway, so I did that. I killed all that stuff and I fixed the transporter and it fixed the power plant, which turned on some extra transporters, which let me complete some other quests. So that made me very happy.
Yeah, cool.
What about you, Vanessa?
I did a quest about love. I found a man, and he was struggling with being in love with both of his best friends.
Oh.
And he wanted my help to determine which one he should choose because he didn't feel like it was a tenable situation. So he has you go find his two best friends. They're two ladies, and they're hanging out together all the time because they're also best friends. And you go and you have to ask them, like, hey, what do you think about this guy? And they're both like, oh, he's our really good friend. We really like him. So then you go report back and he's like, oh, so they both really like me, but I don't know which one to choose. Can you go ask them what their favorite memories are of me? So you go back and talk to them again. And one of them is like, oh, I don't know. I guess my favorite memory of him is that we've just always been together since we were kids. Like, he's always around. He's my best friend. And the other lady says, oh, my favorite memory of him was we went on a picnic and got attacked by monsters and he protected us. And so then you go back and he's like, oh, so one of them's favorite memory is when I was a big, strong protector man. I guess if I'm being honest, that's when I fell in love with her too, when I protected her. And then he's like, but I can't tell her I love her because she's always with our other best friend. So would you please bring her this letter that says I love her? So you bring the letter and he's like, and don't let the other girl see it. And the lady reads the letter and she's like, oh, like, I'm happy because I'm in love with him, but I'm also kind of sad because our best friend is also in love with him. And it's going to be super awkward from now on. And you go back and talk to him and he's like, yeah, I guess I'm happy and also sad too. But that's life. And that was my quest.
Huh.
Riki was really into it. Sometimes if you have party members, they will enjoy doing the side quests with you. And this one, Riki was all about. He's like, oh,
He loves
Riki
love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did. Real hero pawn.
I did one. I've sort of finished the quest line. I don't know if Matthew talked about this in the first episode or not. You know those kids that are hiding in Colony 9 and they're like planning something and there's the million steps where they're trying to get you as a minion and you got to talk to this artist and then fight a monster. Well,
Yeah,
it
these
turns
no
out,
good kids.
yeah, and it turns out what they were plotting to do that everyone was so worried about was actually a lovely fireworks display.
Oh.
Isn't that
This-
nice?
Whole time, that's what they were doing. Everyone thought that they were like doing some kind of smuggling or terrorism. No, they just wanted to do something nice because everyone was feeling horrible after the attack killed so many people. So they wanted to do something
Wow.
to celebrate.
They weren't no good nicks after all.
Yeah, I thought that was a fun little side quest. And I've also been rebuilding Colony 9, which I enjoy. I didn't realize I never talked to Juju because he never had a stupid thing over his head. And I hate Juju. But if you talk to Juju, that's how you actually start rebuilding Colony 6.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to like give him ingredients. And he asked for 2 things that I don't have. And I was like, I don't know where these things are. And he's like, oh, well, let me give you hints about it. And I guess they're in the swamps. I'll have to like write down their hints because it doesn't go into your quest log. I
Oh.
think those should be tracked items. That's my complaint about this game. Is all the Colony 6 rebuild stuff doesn't get tracked. I'm very
Too
lazy.
challenging for you, huh?
A little bit.
I leveled up some of the colony.
Yeah, I
Six
level up the
stuff here.
first level of 3 of
I'm
the
on a
things.
second level for some of it, but not all of it. I don't know. I feel like if I get real bored, I'll go back and like collect it all, but I've had other things to play instead of just this.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, Jim, do you have any favorite side quests?
I'm just along for the ride here, guys.
Poop on
I
cam.
want to talk about a bullshit minigame.
Ooh, you found a bullshit
What?
minigame.
Well, kind of. There's a gift giving mechanism.
Oh.
Have we talked about that before?
No, I
No.
don't think so.
So if you go into your party information, you can check your affinity with different party members. And on that affinity screen, you have the option to give them presents. And you can give a gift from any party member to any party member. So you choose who will receive the gift, who will give the gift. And if you look at the party character information, it kind of says the kind of things they're into. For example, Riki is into bugs. So
Cool.
I had Shulk gift him a bug. I didn't do it very much because I'm worried about gifting something that I'll need for a quest later. But I
I
thought that
like
was-
using the stuff up. I like using the stuff up for the quests because while you have the quest in your quests, they'll just show up on your map as little exclamation points. But
Oh,
once
that's
the quest
true.
is gone, so it makes sense to use them first.
Oh, that's very
for, like, your
clever.
Collectopedia.
Yeah. Oh, what a clever Matt you are.
I interrupted with a little tip from Matt.
No, that was a good tip. Yeah, so I just I hadn't noticed that before, and it may have been discussed in one of the tutorials that I glossed over.
I haven't used it either. I'll have to look into that. I wonder. Here's a question for the group. Spinning out of that, how do you get affinity coins, and why don't I ever have very many for Shulk?
You get them by leveling up. I think it's whoever's in your party. So you should have some for Shulk. But I think also to get affinity
You have to use
coins,
them, but I don't understand.
if you
I
level
don't
up their
understand that.
relationships, do you also get affinity coins? I think
what
it's
I'm asking.
related
I'm not
to
sure.
that. Oh, I don't understand how that mechanic works.
I need that stuff
Unfortunately.
because
I'm sure there's a guide to it on GameFAQs.
every time I run across one of those like heart-to-heart spots, I don't have the
Me
affinity
neither. So I'm
enough
going to try
to
this
do it.
gift
It
giving.
aggravates me because I don't want to go back and do it. Like that sounds super annoying to me. I want to see it when it's there. Show it to me.
I want to trade. I've been using. So Vanessa, my thing. I have been doing Matthew's smart plan. What I've been doing is only for trades, only giving stuff I have like 14 of for trades. So
You
I
trade
imagine.
stuff.
Yeah, every named character has items like you can trade for. Every green dot
We
on the
haven't
map.
talked about that.
Yeah. It shows up as talk or trade, and you can trade, and then you have to give something of equal or greater value to them to get the thing that they want. So you have to make sure. But fortunately, you pick up so
Every
many of
time
those
I accidentally
blue dots.
hit the Y button to do it and do a trade, which does happen pretty frequently. Because switching between like Xbox and Nintendo really fucks me up.
Yes, me too. And I always hit that Y. Well, for me, it's the opposite. Every time I want to do a trade, I hit Y, and then it goes to the map, and you have to press like 3 buttons to get out of the map. Come on.
Yeah,
You can
it's hard.
get right back out of the map by hitting Y again.
Shut your mouth.
Yep, it's true. It's true. I learned that myself the other day. I was very pleased to learn it.
So what are you roundly for or squarely against? Let's start with Jim.
I'm roundly for listening to you guys talk about the game.
Yeah.
Yay!
Why?
Fun.
You played it with us. You love this game.
No, yeah.
Jim, we as a group want to encourage you to just pick it up again and try.
You know, with these,
It's actually pretty fun.
I liked playing it, and then I got COVID, and then I started
get
playing Biomutant. But
get
now,
it.
like, when you fall a couple episodes behind, how do you catch back up? You know?
I
hard.
don't
No, but
know.
even if you don't catch up, like you get to play along some and like know some of what we're talking about.
And you guys would just be spoiling the game for me every week.
That's true, but still.
Well, isn't that
We're
impossible
spoiling
now?
it for you every week either way. So what's
That's
the diff?
true.
You know, I'm just saying I haven't played since before Thanksgiving. And I did finally pick it back up again this week. And it was tough for me because I had saved it right as you take over as Melia, not even in the tomb, but like way before.
played way far ahead.
The very first time you take over as Melia, when you first, I think maybe it's when you get arrested or maybe it's before you get arrested, you play as her for like a minute. It's not very long, but I had saved it there and I didn't know it was going to be a minute. And I had several false starts where I would like pick it up and be like, I'm going to play this game and be like, ugh, I got to walk through this palace as this new character with all these in this new environment with a bunch of new characters that I don't really give a shit about. I don't really remember what the fuck was going on. It was
Maybe it'll
tough.
be short if I skip the cutscenes.
Skip those cutscenes and also put it on easy mode and you don't have to do the side quests, bro. Like, I know that we're talking about all this extra shit we do, but you ain't got to do none of that. You ain't got to do none of it. Put it on easy mode and the game plays itself.
You know, give it the old college try.
I'm just saying, pick it up and give it a shot. Give it a shot. And if you
It's not
don't,
Jalen. She can play it. It plays
we'll
itself.
disappointed. No, I'm kidding.
She's a teen. She can play this game.
Yeah. Get her to catch up
No,
to where
listen,
we
if
are
he's
and
gonna
then
get
take
his
the game
teen-
away from her.
If he's going to get his teen child involved in playing a game, it needs to be Danganronpa. It's Haley's favorite goddamn game series, and it shouldn't be. It's not appropriate. It's got lots. It's so much. There's a lot of problematic stuff that I don't like. There's a lot.
Well, Jalen's to date favorite video game has been Doki Doki. So
Yeah, that's
this is
why
very
I'm
much
saying
along those lines.
yeah.
it's very much along those lines. It's in fact it's very extra, but like it's the same stuff basically. And then there's also some Phoenix Wright courtroom stuff involved.
Vanessa
which
got
is
me.
fucking great.
I think it was for Christmas last year. A Danganronpa, the bear crawling out of Teddy.
That's right. I did.
Monokuma.
Yeah,
He's
Monokuma
the
coming
despair
out of
bear?
Teddy. He's a scare bear?
Despair bear.
Despair bear, yeah. I like Monokuma. Anyway, let's wrap this up. Okay, so Jim, what was it? So Jim's roundly for listening to us talk about the game. Matthew, what are you roundly for or squarely against?
I'm roundly for the plot direction at this point in the game. Like this very much hooked me. I knew that it was like you can tell from step one, like minute one of this game. The first thing they tell you is the continent that you're on is a corpse that stands out of the ocean. So it was weird from the start. But kind of at the beginning, it was a little too weird. I almost wish that we didn't know that at the beginning and it was revealed to us. Like you're walking around on a giant corpse. I think that may have been super cool. Whereas here, it just felt fucking weird from minute one. But it finally, to me, got interesting in this chunker, plot-wise.
I did like that the High Entia assumed the Homs didn't know that. They're like, do you know about the Bionis and the Mechonis? Or are you dum-dums? We assumed you're dum-dums.
Yeah, you're cavemen, right? They think you're monkeys, I guess. Anyway, yeah, I'm roundly for the plot direction at this point. Again, I don't know what's going to happen. And I feel like the likelihood that it just turns into unintelligible word salad, meaningless non-dribble is very high, but I'm into it. What about you, Johnny?
I am. Let's see. I know I've talked. I think Riki was my one go-to last time, so I don't want to lean on loving Riki again. I'm for the like pack of lady ninjas. I thought they were really cool, even if they did sound like Bane, muffled through their masks. I thought they were great. What about you, Vanessa?
We didn't get super deep into it, but at the end of the final battle in this chunkle, there is a bit where Riki
Chunkle.
Yeah, there's a bit where Himbo picks up Riki by the hair and is like dangling him around, and then tosses him to Winghead, and she cuddles him like a little baby. And Riki, while he's dangling at one point, goes, "Riki happy," and it was amazing. The whole cutscene, I am roundly for.
What are these things? Are they even are they people?
Yeah, they're people.
Come
Vanessa
on.
did
on the one
post.
hand, they have debt and children, like child support that they're worried about. But on the other hand, they're like little babies that people pick up. They're like cats.
Oh, correction, it's Riki Smiley.
Yes,
Oh, God.
there is actually a side quest about how a Nopon, a child or teen Nopon, hates being picked up by Homs and High Entia and wants to smear a foul-smelling goo on itself so that people don't pick him up and think he's cute anymore. Because he does not like being picked up.
Yeah, he doesn't want to leave the safety of the city because someone will pick him up and cuddle him.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, they are sentient. They know what's going on, and some of them do not like to be picked up and cuddled. But you know who does? Riki. Riki loves to be picked up and cuddled.
Riki Tiki Tavi.
He consents to it. Yeah, I think
Where
that
are we playing to next time?
Next time.
Did Vanessa go?
I forgot. Yeah, she went. She loves
just did it.
seeing
I can do it some more if you want.
Oh,
though.
I know. I was gonna.
Riki happy.
So here's the thing.
I just remember
This
that
is
I passed it to John.
in
so I was-
person. In person, Vanessa loves Riki. Twitter Vanessa is like, oh, I'm a pro gamer. Isn't this the worst?
Oh, I hate it though. She's speaking from my heart, so it's allowed because it's
Yeah.
from the shared Twitter
It's from
account
the
that only
shared
she uses.
Twitter account. Shared Twitter account. That does not necessarily reflect my personal opinions or your personal opinions or anyone's personal opinions.
But does reflect your personal.
But also mostly Vanessa.
But also, I use it to like tweet shoe bills and harass
Goats.
young British men. So there you go.
All right, let's
And
let's
by harass, I mean respectfully interact with.
let's defeat Mumkhar, and we'll be heading out to Fortress, Galahad Forest, but we will not get to Galahad Fortress. We'll just defeat Mumkhar on Valak Mountain.
Mumkhar, the car that's also your mum.
Boy,
Exactly.
I'll definitely remember that and not have to check the Facebook post 6 times to see if I've
I do
finished
that
the
every
chunker
single
yet.
day. I look at like the show notes and I'm like, where are we playing to? I really appreciate that you put it in the show notes, Johnny, or else we'd be messaging you every day asking where we play to, which we do
That's our
anyway.
way of telling you to put it in the show notes, Johnny. She's bullying you.
I'll
I'm not
do it
bullying
right
him. He
now.
always puts it in the show notes. He does a great
Let's-
job.
I haven't done it yet though, so let's defeat Mumkhar at Valak Mountain, and probably play like 2 steps beyond that, so that it just finishes up that area. Finish up Valak Mountain and defeat Mumkhar. I'll say
Yeah.
that.
Valak Mountain.
Yeah, finish up Valak.
And you know what part
No,
of
I
the
thought
body that is.
I thought you said phallic.
after defeating Mumkhar.
Dick Mountain.
I can't wait to see how this series ties into Xenogears, guys. Like, because we all know that it must be a direct tie-in. It's by the same creator.
That's what
It has a
everyone
very
says. They
similar name.
definitely say, "Oh
It's a
yes,
direct
it's
sequel."
officially a direct sequel."
Yeah,
Remember-
it's like somehow a sequel and a prequel at the same time, and also a reboot.
How
Wow.
the Biotis is the ship that we flew away from the planet that we were a clone farm for.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't
And at
remember
the
that
end
well.
of Xenogears, you see Shulk being born.
Ooh.
Yeah, for sure.
I
For
like
sure.
that they talk about Xenogears in Final Fantasy VII. I think that's neat.
I don't remember that.
There's one person
He's
at
making
the
that up.
no, it in the first translation they call it Xenogaius. One of the people, you know, when Cloud's passed out and in a wheelchair, he's at the special
Oh,
care
yeah.
home. It's someone at the care home that talks about Xenogears, but in the later retranslations, they do call it Xenogears.
My favorite cutscene in Final Fantasy VII is when Tifa is wheeling Cloud away from that village that's collapsing into the live stream. It's such a great cutscene.
What a hero! All right,
What a great
so,
game.
Do we have any emails?
Man, I don't know.
Any what now?
Man,
Emails. I'm just gonna look real fast.
I'm
look at
looking.
Oh,
Why
okay.
don't you trust me to do it for once?
Because you forget them all the time.
Yeah.
because we've hit the point where we're having to ask about do it on the show.
Here's an
But that's also
email.
my fault for not adding emails.
It's from Brian Davis. It's called Doctor Who.
We
did
did this
that.
one last time.
All right.
Yeah, we did.
We did that one.
I'll
Here's a
unstart.
one called Better Taskmaster Content Than Vaccine
Nope,
Content.
we've done
Oh, okay.
that one.
Jukebox the Ghost is
I think we
know
are
that-
actually caught up. I think
I don't
we're
think
caught
we
up.
are. I think we skipped a couple, and my concern is that the people whose emails never got read that sent them 3 months ago are now like, "What the fuck?" They're talking about
they're
how there's
probably
no emails.
crying. There's
We
an
got two
email
emails about
from
Jukebox the Ghost and only read one. That's for
Rubber
sure.
Bear about Okami.
Yep, we've done that one.
Did we not read the other Jukebox the Ghost email? I just saw that one here somewhere. No, that's not it.
Yeah, we've
That's
done
not it.
the jukebox, two jukebox, the ghost ones.
Have we?
All right.
Well, then we don't have any emails.
Yeah, I guess we read them all. If we didn't read your email, email us again. We probably didn't see it. Or we did and then we forgot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've read all of this stuff. Wow.
Yeah, we're good. We
I
gotta.
mean, I guess
we
I
gotta
could read
put a
some like tweets. People tweet
No.
at us sometimes.
Oh well, maybe. Is there any good tweets?
Yeah, here's a tweet. It says, there should be some type of gun that shoots cats, but in a way that the cats and everyone else really enjoys. That was tweeted 22 minutes ago by Jim Banks. So right during the middle of our recording.
Wow. Is that about High on Life?
no, I tossed my cat off my lap and I was like, I wonder if she likes it. I wonder if she'd like being shot out of like a potato gun,
No.
but like in a nice way.
Yeah, you made it very clear in your tweet that it would be something the cat and everyone else enjoys.
Everybody enjoys.
All right. We're good.
Yep.
Let's go.
Okay.
Okay. So, Jim, what's our Patreon?
Patreon is a platform that lets creators offer content that subscribers or
words.
patrons pay for. We have one of those. If you subscribe to our Patreon, you get access to lots of fun bonus content. Last month we had a fun Jeopardy game that John put together about games that we've played. There's some
It went so well.
Yeah, I did. I won, technically.
Did you?
No. But there's lots of fun content on there like that. We've got some ranking episodes, some level up stuff. We've watched some spooky movies. Remember when everybody liked the new Texas Chainsaw movie? That was
Nope.
fun. And you get all that content for $3 if you subscribe at the $5 level. You get all that good stuff, plus the ability to vote on games that we play on the show. So that's a steal and a half. I guess before I go there, I will say if you would like to subscribe to the Patreon, you can do so at patreon.com/squarerootspodcast. Another benefit of being a patron is every week we like to read some of our Patreon usernames and thank them personally. I will kick us off this week by thanking Butts on Parade, CharityWater.org, Dovahkiin's Discount Dragon Barn, D. Jethro, Rubber Bear, Monado Tomato Potato, Mary Queen of Scots.
Excuse me,
Andrew-
Monado tomato potato,
Monado
please.
Tomato Potato, Mary
Monado.
Queen of Scots. I said Monado Tomato Potato.
Didn't you?
Mary Queen of Scots, Andrew Van Barson, Race Jenkins, Jack Mazzell, Brent, and Chris Penyak.
I would like to thank Tyler Krupp, Do Good Recklessly, Lex Averial, Ross Hartley, Angel, Hudson Roth, Joseph, Miguel Torres, Wedge Coon, Bree Girth, Jim, oh my God, did you see Ben's hat, and Matt Jorgensen.
I would like to thank Joshua W. Joshua W. Broxson, Jason Timms, Wash in the Wind, Kodab Games, Jake Dickerson, Cyril the Wolf, Abortion Rights Are Human Rights, Ian Frederick, Sam Harrison, Isaac Wrights, Sergeant Spaghetti, and Zeno Gussie II Esquire.
I'd like to thank Jared Collins, Anthony Cruz, Eric Pitkameni, Julie. That's right. It's Julie, everybody.
The Julie?
The Julie.
Wow,
You know
I love
Julie.
her.
She's your
I think it's
bestie.
pronounced Jelly.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Jelly.
it's pronounced Jolly, and she is my bestie.
Saving Sid's Nuts, Gaj Lacarite. Oh no, Citrus
Lacarite.
C. Seth G. This just in. Eldritch Embodiment of Darkness receives sick burn from Plastic Cowboy Toy. Ron, Soul Wagner, Dylan Rowe, and Magpie Juju.
All right, friends, that's it for this episode of Square Roots. If you'd like to have an email read on the air, our email address is squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. Come see us at our fun Facebook group. It's called the Square Roots Podcast Group for smart, cool, very attractive people. Or find us on Twitter at Square Roots Pod.
Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on whatever platform you have, like iTunes, your podcatcher of choice, Spotify, Ghana, Liquefaction, whatever you like
turns
to
out-
use.
It turns out that we're still doing the Johnny Reviews You if you leave a review, but only if it's a bad review.
Yeah, it's pretty true. Don't leave a bad review. I'll try to remember to comment on good reviews too, which is, make me feel better. You know what I mean? You know
Wow.
what I mean? You know.
Yeah,
Not me.
yeah.
All right, friends.
All right, for Square Roots, I am Jim Banks.
I'm Matthew Van Zant.
Hey, I'm Johnny Brandon.
I'm Vanessa Smiley.
Oh, fuck, we're finishing the show. God damn it. Oh, God. We're going to have to finish. Oh, God, you better kill him. You got to kill him now. I know
I
you
love
should kill
this
people.
voice. You should practice it more. We'll get you on an episode of Rick and Morty.
It hurts my throat.
Okay, bye.
Bye.